ourselves out of it. And perhaps had we not had those critical errors, which led to 2 big touchdowns, really pretty much uncontested touchdowns, maybe the game would have been a little different. But you make your breaks or you don't make your breaks, and we really got nobody to blame but ourselves. And we looked at the film and we saw things that contributed to both of the turnovers, the pass interceptions that were really critical, the fumble that we had on the 30-yard line. I know our defensive coaches felt like that we should have made that sudden change and been able to get out of there without a field goal, with maybe just a field goal, but we didn't. And we've learned from that. We've had a good week of practice, and we'll just see what happens.
You mentioned right away some costly errors. The opening kickoff, Valine had a real nice return, and you get no points out of it.
And that was costly. I mean, Travis returned the ball back down to about the 20-yard line. It was an excellent return. It was well blocked. In fact, many of our kickoff returns probably as well done as we've done in many, many years. But we had too many opportunities, and that's one thing you don't want. But to come away empty-handed, we went for the field goal. We missed it. It was wide to the left, and that really hurt us. Then you turn right around 3 plays later, they fumble the ball and we fall on it, John, and yet we're offside. So that game could have been completely different had we been able to come up with some of the things that we should have come up with, but we didn't. And that's just a sign that as a football team, we have to be able to make some good things happen.
Do you think those early errors really contributed to the way your team played throughout the rest of the game?
Well, I think maybe they might have affected us somewhat emotionally for a period of time there, but they shouldn't. I really think that, as we've told our players many, many times that you just have to go on. You have to accept the adversity and fight through it and learn from it and try to go out and make some big things happen that are positive for you. I thought our team kept their poise. I thought they played hard, but we didn't play with the intensity level that we would really like to generate, although we did come back and play a much more steady second half.
Now, the offense, they had trouble. On times they'd move the ball and they'd stall again. Do you think maybe Gary Hurt had a little bit of problems after missing last week's game?
Well, I don't know if he did or not. Undoubtedly, when you're ill with the kind of illness that he had, I'm sure that it does sap your strength a little bit. But it's still an 11-man game, as I've told you before. And like I've told the quarterbacks many times, I think that a lot of times they get too much credit when we win and too much blame when we lose. And everybody has to do their job, or you have breakdowns. Now, the first pass interception, there's no question that we misread it, and we should have thrown to the other receiver. The second interception that they returned for the long touchdown, there was some breakdown in blocking, and the quarterback was under a lot of pressure, and had he had more time to throw, we had the receiver wide open deep down the sideline on an outcut that we could have gone to, and the results perhaps would have been a little bit different. But they weren't, and as I said, we're just going to learn from it and go on.
What kind of things can you try to do to change your team's inconsistency offensively?
Well, I think one thing that we do want to change, John, is that we want to play the game with enthusiasm that is obvious to the fans. I felt like that we've been very workmanlike, and we have been somewhat less than enthusiastic from time to time, and this is not true of all of our players. I'm not saying that, but we need players that get in there and take the bull by the horns and become the kind of leaders that we need to inspire their teammates with the idea that we can go out and we can get the job done, whether it's on offense or defense.
Who are you maybe specifically looking for to maybe step into that role in the upcoming weeks?
Well, I think our seniors would be ideally the ones that should be able to do that. We've talked to them a lot about senior leadership and the role that they have to play. And, some people that can lead can lead vocally. Other people lead just because of effort. And we can accept either one. And certainly leadership by effort is excellent when people can see it and it's obvious. And I think we've had some of that, but we just haven't had enough of it to get us over the hump. And I think that's why we're sitting here 2-4, maybe instead of being 4-2.
And also defensively, you seem to have quite a few problems with their passing attack.
John, we did early in the game, and what's really surprising about that is that our defensive staff did not make one single adjustment at halftime, and we came back and played so much better the second half. They threw the ball a lot. We were kind of close the first half, but close doesn't get it done. If you don't knock the pass down or intercept it, and they had several passes that they completed where I felt like we had good coverage, but they still caught it. And if you're a defensive back, if they catch the ball for a long game, that means you weren't successful. So we have to do a better job in that area. And I thought as the game went along, our defensive players did get better. They kept their poise, and the second half, for the most part, Washburn was in 3 plays and out, plays and out. They really didn't have a lot of opportunities the second half.
Now, turning maybe to a positive point for us, Doug Banks played another great game, and he had that great return, too.
I think his punt return was probably as good a punt return as we've had for a long, long time in terms of individual effort. Doug has really played hard for us in all 6 of our ball games, and I think he's one of those young men that kind of leads by effort. He has great intensity, and he plays hard every game, and We just need every one of his teammates to play the same way, and we would be a very, very good football team.
This may seem like kind of a silly question, but you had that tough first half. What kind of things can you, as the coach or the coaching staff, try to say to your players to pump them up that next half?
Well, I don't know if you really can pump them up. What we do at halftime is we try to make adjustments on both sides of the ball or solve any problems that existed in the kicking game. We want them to continue to play hard and to play as well as they were capable of playing. Now, when you come off of a first half like that, like we had offensively, almost anything would be an improvement. And I felt like we did play more consistent football second half. We took care of the ball. We were eventually able to score a touchdown, but, you know, the consistency was not there, John, let's face it. And when you can only score one touchdown in 60 minutes of play as an offensive football team, you're going to have a hard time winning very many games.
You mentioned the troubles offensively. I think you had either 1 or 2 first downs at the half.
Yeah, we were certainly not consistent at all at the half, and I think the fact that we bogged down right off the bat didn't help us at all.
What kind of things can you attribute that maybe allowed you to come back that second half and play quite a bit better?
Well, I think that, just the application of the rules that we have on both offense and defense, getting to your spots, and doing the things that you have to do to be successful, and believing in yourself. I think that's so important.
I noticed it looked to me like in the play calling, you weren't like panicking, trying to throw every down. You tried to stick to a game plan even throughout that second half.
Well, we felt like it was important to do that because so many times when you panic and you get out of rhythm, that's when you end up doing things that put your defense in a big hole. We just didn't want to do that. We felt like we had enough time if we could just peck away and get something done. We weren't out of it at halftime, certainly at all, even though we had, contributed to all of their points. And we felt like if we played hard, some good things would happen, and we'd be right back in the ball game.
In that second half, I suppose the defense played well, and that's something you can hopefully build on for this week.
I hope so, because, we've had different parts of our team that's played good halves, but we've not yet put together that whole game, and we just have to do that, or our season is not going to be at all like we want it to be.
We'll be back after this break to let you look at highlights from that first half.
If you work with someone who has AIDS, do you know which of these things is safe to do? Using the same coffee pot, using the same microwave oven, shaking hands, sharing tools, working on the same computer, riding in the same elevator, riding in the same car, using the same telephone, drinking from the same water fountain, sitting in the same chair, using the same pen, using the same typewriter, eating in the same cafeteria, sitting at the same table, using the same bathroom, handling the same papers, touching the same controls, using the same copying machine. Yes, all of these things are safe to do. In fact, any normal activity in the workplace is safe to do with someone who has AIDS. For more information, write the Will Rogers Institute, White Plains, New York.
Welcome back to the show. Now we'll roll that footage and let you take a look at some of those errors that we've been talking about.
Certainly was a beautiful day for a game. The wind really wasn't much of a factor at all, and you'll see the great kickoff return right off the bat. We have several new people on our kickoff return. I thought they did an excellent job, and Travis picked his hole well, made a great cut right there. And I really thought that he might score, but they had to slow him up a little bit, and they got an angle on him. And one of their backs came across and was able to make the tackle. Now, we had great position here, and we ran a play right before this for no gain, and then came back with a dive for Scott Johan, which was about a 6-yard gain. And we came up 4th and 2, and we chose to go for the field goal. After you miss it, you wish maybe you had gone for it on 4th down. And they come back, and, initially we do a nice job. There's Scott Baker with a good tackle. There they got us for being offside on that basis. We hit them, and they fumble the ball, and we fall on it. And, their cadence was able to just draw us off a little bit. You got to really watch the ball and key it hard, and we didn't do that at that particular time. They're an excellent throwing football team. They were able to find some receivers right there. We're really close, and they stick it in for a first down. In a running play that they get some good yards. Danny Gall comes up and makes the last hit on him. But they are moving the ball well. Again, you see them find the receiver. We're there, and we got a lot of people flying to the football, but they picked up quite a few yards. There we stuffed him good. I think that's Jeff Essman on the tackle. Get a good rush from Todd Gransky, who hits the arm. He's not able to get much on the football. So they had to give up the ball first time, and then, of course, this is where disaster strikes. Trevor Pavage comes over and makes the tackle on that, but they return it back to about the 5-yard line. It was a pass that was just misread. Everybody makes a mistake from time to time like that. You'd like it not to be quite so costly, but by the same token, it does happen. It happens to everybody throughout the country from time to time, and then they score and kick the extra point, and they go up 7-0. Didn't have a lot on the extra point, but he got it through. Again, we're going to get, I think, a pretty decent kickoff return right here. This is Travis Valine again. He broke the tackle there and did a great job. Out to about the 35-yard line. That's great position. Then we come with the draw to Scott Johan and pick up a good gain. And we were unable to convert, and we had to kick, and they're back on offense. And we didn't give our defense much of a chance on the sideline to work out any problems. You know, when you're a good hit there by Scott Kovar. But when you're only out in 3 plays and then right out again, it really doesn't help them a whole lot. There we had good pressure on him. We hurried him, but they were still able to get it in. And we tried to really work hard on trying to keep the quarterback contained. And there was one we probably should have intercepted. Danny Gall had it in his hands, but we were able to get out of there. And we come out with a quick pass to Doug Banks and get one of the few first downs we had the first half. Then we tried to come with the reverse, and it was blocked pretty well. And you can see the ball out on the ground, and they got it. You can't advance the fumble, but unless you catch it in the air. But that's great field position for them. And then they come right back, and they score in one play. And that's something that shouldn't happen. We just, we got to meet the sudden change and make them go the long, hard route. And I don't know if this was a fake on their part or if they just had a foul up, but we were able to keep them from getting their extra point. Again, it was Travis Valine coming up inside, and again, we have a great return. He's very close to breaking that one. That's super field position. We came with a bootleg play here and tried to go to the over route, and we just missed him. Ryan Siss was the one we were throwing to. And again, we were unable to do anything with the ball, and you can see they're moving it again. They were able to complete their passes and keep the ball going, get their first downs, and they got a lot of snaps the first half. There he just gets out of our initial grasp, and Todd Suey comes across and makes the tackle. Here's pretty good coverage. This is one of those plays we talked about where they come up with it on the 5, and we don't get the ball knocked down. There's a nice job back inside, keeping the dive to a minimum gain. Little sprint out pass that they're able to throw, and we have great coverage, but we get called for pass interference, and it probably was pass interference. It was a great play by Scott Baker and Todd Gransky. A lot of time to throw, and there he threw that one away. That was caught clear out of bounds, so even had, he did catch it, but he was outside of the end line. And they end up going for the field goal, and they make it. This, again, it's a good play right there. It's 4 or 5 yards by our tailback. Just the consistency again, the inability to keep it going. There's a nice adjustment by Paul Riley on his route and another first down. Russ Harvey's in there at quarterback right now. Here we come back on, and they play the ball well, and then we have to punt and give it up. We did do a nice job on our punt coverage. Slusher, their return man, is an outstanding return man, and we did a good job of minimizing his effectiveness in that phase of the football game. We have them pinned back here pretty deep. You'd like to keep them down there, and here they come out and get a good completion, so they're kind of out of the shadow of the goal line now. They stick another one in there where really we had pretty good coverage on him. There's a great play right there. Super play. I think that might have been by Kurt Mesker. And there's another good play. So from time to time, we put a lot of pressure on him. We had several hurry-ups, and there they stick it right in between us and are able to come up with a big gain. There's another one. Look at all the blue shirts around him, but all you got to do is just stick it in where they can catch it. It doesn't make any difference how many people you have around if you don't knock the ball down. And there we missed a tackle, and they turned it into a better gain. Pressure there and a great catch. We would like to have knocked the ball down, but it was a super catch. And here they stick it in the end zone. They went for 2 here. They did a nice job of knocking it down. This was the last play of the half, and they intercepted it. Fortunately, we made the tackle right away. The ball should have been thrown away. The safety came over the top and made the play.
I think looking at that footage, you can easily see that Griffin, their quarterback, had a real good arm. He was able to fire that ball right in there.
He did, and he had a great first half.
Okay, after this break, we'll be back to take a look at the second half for you.
They say the best things in life are worth waiting for. Well, maybe, maybe not. But when I decided I wanted to go to college, I wanted to go right now. So I joined the Army National Guard. See, in the Guard, I get $5,000 for college, thanks to the new GI Bill. Plus, I got a $2,000 cash enlistment bonus. Plus, I get a regular paycheck. When you add it all up, I learn a minimum of $18,000 that I can put toward college. And that's not even the best part. The best part is, I serve 2 days a month, 2 weeks a year. And I serve right in my own hometown. So if you're in a hurry to start college, keep this in mind. In the Army National Guard, they not only give you the money for school, they also give you the time. Serve part-time, go to school full-time, and get $18,000 for college.
In the National Guard.
We'll roll that second half footage now and let you take a look at a little bit better second half for Kearney.
Yeah, we had won the toss, and we had chose to receive, and they wanted to receive the second half, and Darren Garholtz got a good kicked clear out of the end zone. Now they come right off the bat with a halfback pass, and they get us for pass interference here on Danny Gall. It, you know, is a difficult call. Again, they're just picking right up where they left off in terms of throwing the football. We had a great interception there. It's too bad we couldn't see it. Scott Baker had a great interception. And then we come with a little pitch play and pick up good yards there, probably 5 or 6 yards. Again, once again, we bog down, and we have to kick the ball, get a good roll here. So we're going to have him pinned down there pretty deep. He does pick it up and try to run a little bit with it and gets a few yards, but we did a nice job of keeping him corralled. Scott Meyer makes a tackle. But you just see us play considerably better the second half. We're around the ball more and in terms of making the hits and force them to kick the ball a lot more. This is a nice cut by Chuck Mosley, and he read it very well. It's a good play by Paul Riley. So we're moving the ball a little better the second half, but we don't get it in the end zone nearly enough. This was the dash pass, and this is the one that was intercepted, and you can see they had 2 people right there. We're not going to catch him. Brad Errol-Smith's the only one that has the opportunity, and their guy's pretty fast and gets in the front there. And that's a 72-yard return, and that, you know, probably put the nail in the coffin, so to speak, and made it very difficult for us. There's Russ Harvey on an option play. He ends up keeping the ball and has a good gain and comes up with about a 12-yard gain and gets the first down. Got to take good care of that football. Again, we weren't able to sustain it, and they come with a little shuffle pass, and they turn it into a very good gain, get a first down. And we're into the fourth quarter right now where, you know, they're not going to change, and once again we sack him. I think that might have been Todd Gransky that got him. This is Russ Harvey going inside to Doug Banks on a nice catch and get another first down. Another pass, a little sprint out pass to Travis Valine. And there's a nice run by Chuck Mosley. We had hoped to have more of these from our tailbacks this year where we can break it and get some good long gains, but really that's the first long one we've had. And then we were able to, we missed the PAT. We went with Don Savage there and gave him an opportunity to kick and wasn't able to get it through. Again, the quarterback now pulled the ball down. That really was a clip right there at the last, but it wasn't called. There's a great play in terms of getting some penetration and hitting him behind the line of scrimmage. They worked a lot out of the shotgun. Again, we got a little bit of pressure on him, forced him to throw in a great interception over there by Rusty Conrad. Try to put together another drive where maybe we can get an opportunity to get down there and score and have a good first down there. And we come with a shovel pass, and we missed the block right there. We would have been a better play, I think, had we been able to maintain some contact. Close pass there. That was Scott Baker that made the tackle. This will be Doug Banks' punt return, and you want to watch it closely because it's a great individual effort. He's up inside. You can see him get hit there, you know, almost hit again, and he's off to the races. And they're not going to catch him, and I'm just real thankful there weren't any clips or any flags because it was a good effort. And we come back and we went for 2 points here, and this was the second of the 2-point attempts, and the first one we actually made, and we had a guy offside, and then we came back with this one right here, which wasn't executed at all like we wanted it. Thought we'd go for an onside kick, and we were pretty close. The ball bounced off of him. We just couldn't quite get it. The game's winding down here at this point in time. And it's over.
Okay, after this break, we'll let you know how things are looking for this week's homecoming contest.
Personal best can be found all over this country, on the sports field, in the schoolroom, in the home, on the job. Anywhere people face a difficult challenge and say, yes, I can.
The Foundation for Exceptional Children is searching for disabled young people who do their personal best. The Yes, I Can program honors these children in special ways.
Because we know that depending on a person's disability, it can be a great victory to learn a musical instrument, use a pencil, hold a job, or button a shirt. And these victories deserve proper recognition.
Each year, the Foundation's Yes, I Can program honors children in recognition of their very special accomplishments.
If you know someone we should honor, write to Yes, I Can, Foundation for Exceptional Children, Reston, Virginia, 22091.
Let's encourage these kids to keep on saying, yes, I can.
As I mentioned earlier, for those of you who may not know, this is Kearney's homecoming. And, Coach, do you think that is an added incentive to your team?
Well, I hope it is, John. I think it's always a thrill to see a lot of your ex-players come back and a lot of the alumni for the, that weren't athletes but just really have a strong feeling about Kearney State College. I think it's a great school, and I'm certainly proud to be a part of it. And I think that the alumni that take time to come back also feel the same way. And we've talked to our players a lot about being ready to play a game, and we don't want them distracted from all the other activities that are going on, because for us to have a successful homecoming, we need to win. And we've kind of classified this game as a must-win, knowing that it's going to take a heck of an effort for us. But as I said at the beginning, I think we've had a good week of practice. We're, for the most part, pretty much injury-free at this time of the year. We're going to be healthy. And what we need now is just a great effort with tremendous intensity and enthusiasm, and go out and have a lot of fun and play hard.
Now, you're playing a Missouri Southern team that's kind of in the same position you are, same record, and they've had a lot of tough breaks, too, throughout the year.
Well, they have. They played one AA school earlier. I think it was Southeast Missouri, a team that has probably 75 full rides, and you're not expected to beat those kinds of teams, and they didn't. They got beat pretty handily. But really, the last few ball games, even though they lost to Emporia last week, and if you looked at the score, you'd say that they were beat pretty bad. It was like 44-21. But going into the fourth quarter, the game was very, very close, and Emporia had the big play. They threw the ball for some touchdowns, for some long touchdowns, and they really didn't come down and just run the ball play after play against Southern's defense. So Southern's not a bad football team. We told our players all week, both teams are 2-4, but after that game, somebody's going to be 3-4, and somebody's going to be 2-5, and we certainly don't want to be 2-5 if there's any way to prevent it.
Looking at it, this is almost a really pivotal game for you. If you lose this at 2-5, it's hard to come back from that.
Well, it would be hard to come back, but, I think the whole thing that you're after of your athletes and from the coaches, that everybody goes in and works as hard as they can possibly work, and you get ready for the game, and you play the game as hard as you can possibly play it, and then you have to learn to live with the results. And at this point in time, I think the frustrating thing for our players and for our coaches is that we don't think we've played nearly as well as we're capable of playing as a total football team. And, of course, the question that probably would be in your mind, a lot of the fans' mind, is why? Well, there's no easy answer, because we work hard. I think we're an extremely well-organized organization as far as our football team is concerned. The players practice in a way that you would expect them to play. You try to put them under the same kinds of pressures. And at this point in time, we've managed just to do some things from time to time that have hurt ourselves, maybe even more than some of the things that our opponents have done, although we've played good opponents. We've not played a poor opponent at all, I don't think.
Is there anything you can do specifically in practice to try to overcome those, I don't know if they're mental errors or what, but those things that give you a lot of problems?
Well, I think that you go out and you practice on the kinds of things where you don't want penalties, and if our players jump offside, they run laps at the end of practice. You practice on not having turnovers, and we work our receivers and we work our running backs on fumble prevention type drills, every day that we're in full pads, trying to make sure that they take good care of that. And then I think the next thing you have to build on is you have to build on the enthusiasm level. Nothing good can happen without enthusiasm, and we have to generate some of that enthusiasm. We have to show our fans that we really have a love for the game and we enjoy playing the game, and we just play it as hard as we can play.
Getting back to the actual game, Missouri Southern, they have a quarterback, Brown, who is really good, throws for a lot of yards every game.
Well, he really is, John. He's about 5'10". He's about 170, 75 pounds. He's a junior college athlete from California, I believe. He's the total offensive leader in the CSIC with like almost 270 yards a game in offense himself, most of that passing the football. They're a team that's going to throw the ball 35, 45 times a game, although they did run a little bit more against Emporia last week, but they're going to air the ball out, and of course when you do that a lot, you can get some real impressive statistics, and he does have some excellent receivers. I might just mention also that on the other side of the ball, they have a defensive end by the name of King who has 7 quarterback sacks, and that's pretty impressive too.
Staying with their offense just a little bit, is there anything specific you can try to do to counter that with your defense?
Well, I think the one thing we can't do is that we can't get big plays, and they did get some big plays on Emporia. Emporia chose to play them in a man-type coverage, and they left their corners out there on the wide receivers without any help. And we'll try not to do that. We'll play a little different type of coverage against them, try to keep everything in front of us, not give them anything deep at all if we possibly can, and then, take advantage of the breaks when they come our way.
Another aspect of your defense I'm sure you're hoping continues to do well is that defensive line putting a lot of pressure on their quarterback.
That'll be very important this game. I think, John, all of last year we only had 15 sacks, and we're over 20 at this point in time, so we're doing an excellent job as far as that goes. We've had many, many hurry-ups, and what we just need to do now is to break on the ball that they do get off, and also we need our offense to help our defense out a little bit so that we can kind of complement each other.
Now turning to their defense just a little bit, what type of defense do they play and what do you look for from them?
John, they're a gambling type defense. Sometimes they're going to have 10 men on the line of scrimmage, one guy out covering your wide receiver, hoping that you'll make a blocking error and somebody will come free. They do what we call stem. That is that they line up in one defensive look, and then before you snap the ball, a whole bunch of guys move and they get into a different defensive look, trying to confuse you in your blocking assignments. And sometimes that can be very effective. So we've talked about our football team having a lot of patience, because if we have patience, eventually we'll get a big play and everything will work out all right. We can't panic, and we really have to know and understand and execute our rules. That way we can pick up all the stunts that they'll throw at us.
Offensively, are you looking to try to run the ball on them a lot this
Well, we're going to try to run the ball. We want to run the ball because it helps set up the passing attack, but also, John, we want to be open enough that we can do whatever they're going to give us, and if that means throw the ball 50 times a game, I suppose that's what we'll do.
Something I've heard a little bit about from them is they have a lot of young players and they're inconsistent, just like Kearney might be characterized.
Well, they do have some young players, but after you play 6 ball games, you shouldn't be a young player anymore. I mean, you might still be a freshman, but you have 6 games under your belt, and those, they're having the same kind of problems maybe that we're having, and you don't like them. You're not happy with them. I know the players aren't happy with them, and you have to eliminate those before you can really have a chance to win.
One more aspect, you played 2 quarterbacks last week. Which quarterback will be starting this week?
Well, I don't know right now. I think that, there's a good chance that we'll start Gary Hurt. I think that Gary deserves the opportunity. He did have a bad ball game, but by the same token, we have a lot of confidence in him, just as we do Russ. And we'll just have to see how the game goes, but I hope one of them can get really hot and have a great game.
Do you think at all that playing 2 quarterbacks maybe led to some inconsistency? The offense not quite used to what was going on back there?
Well, John, I don't think so, because we practice both of them all the time in practice, but I really don't like to play 2 quarterbacks. I would like to play one so that he gets to the point where he thinks just like you think, because he is the coach on the field, and he does have to make a lot of automatics.
And being the senior, I suppose Gary Hurt maybe fills that role just a little bit more than Russ Harvey.
Well, I think at this point in time, he's a little farther ahead mentally as far as maybe the overall knowledge of the game, but Russ is an excellent quarterback.
Okay, we certainly thank you for tuning in and hope you'll be back next week to talk about a homecoming victory.
Welcome to Foster Field on the campus of Kearney State College, where today Kearney State Antelopes will entertain the Missouri Southern State College Lions in a homecoming battle here in Kearney. We're about ready for the national anthem to take place on an overcast homecoming day at Kearney State. Here's the Kearney State Marching Fantastics with their rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Welcome to Kearney State's Foster Field again, ladies and gentlemen, as the sun tries to peek out here on an overcast homecoming Saturday afternoon at Kearney State College. Good afternoon, I'm Troy Berryman, along with my partner Dave Hardman, our cameraman Doug Greenwalt, and our technical director Brian Vodenall, as we bring you today's homecoming clash between the Kearney State Antelopes and the Missouri State College Lions. Now with a little more on Missouri State, I'd like to introduce my partner today, Dave Hardman.
Thank you, Troy. First, a little bit of background on the Missouri Southern State College. The team joins us today all the way from Joplin, Missouri, on the southeastern border of Missouri. They have a population of the school of 5,100, and the school was founded in 1967. Coach Bill Cook is in his first year, replacing Charlie Wade. And the series between Kearney State and the Lions is 7-4 in KSC's favor. Missouri Southern will run out of a 50 basic defense today and an offense of a double slot. They've got 8 returning offensive starters and 4 defensive starters. And I guess the way, Troy, to describe Missouri State Southern College's defense is inconsistent. Looking at it, I would think Kearney State has a pretty good chance to have some offensive success against these Lions today. Offensively, they have the Central State Intercollegiate College Conference's leading passer in Alan Brown, who replaced last year's starter Gaddis, who is now starting at free safety for the Lions. Alan Brown is passing for 284 yards a game. Rushing for Missouri Southern is basically non-existent. Their leading rusher is Wilson, who has 204 yards total on the season, 3.6 yard average. That's a 5-game total. One of Brown's favorite receivers, targets actually, for Missouri Southern is Browning, who has caught the ball for 438 yards this year. But overall, my assessment today, Troy, is that KSC should have a lot of success, particularly on offense, but they must stop the Lion passing game.
That's exactly what Coach Claire Boroff said earlier this week. He really needs his players to become more enthusiastic. In fact, he said he is pleased with the effort of his team, but they've been lacking in enthusiasm as we see the coin flip. Todd Suey and Keith Hauser, the Kearney State captains, along with about half the Missouri State team. I'll have to watch the flip.
It would seem they can't make up their mind on who they want to put out there for a captain. Could be an intimidation strategic factor here, Troy.
Kearney State is 2-4, but they are better than that record indicates. They're led by Coach Claire Boroff in his 17th year at the school. He really wants to fire up his battle between Kearney State. He doesn't think Kearney State is as intense as they could be when the game time comes. Second half, offensively, Kearney State has been very inconsistent. Boroff is really not sure which quarterback will start. Troy Berryman and Dave Hardman back, Grand Island sophomore ready to bring you second half. He said he's going to put off his decision until game time. And from the warm-ups that we saw before the game, it looks like Hurt is going to get the call, but we'll have to see. Russ Harvey stepped in 2 weeks ago at Pittsburgh and did a nice job. However, last week, neither quarterback could get the job done, and the Lopers fell to 2-4 with the loss. Boroff says they have to be emotionally ready for tonight's ballgame. Chuck Mosley is the leading rusher for Kearney State, averaging 63.5 yards rushing per game. Gary Hurt throws the ball 120 yards a game, so The offense is pretty well balanced. However, Kearney State is being out-yarded in each game. 339 yards they give up, as opposed to only gaining 279 yards. So it'll be interesting. One bright spot for Kearney State are the specialty teams, kickoff returns and punt returns. Doug Banks, who plays split end for the Lopers, has returned one punt for a touchdown last week, 75-yarder for a TD. And Travis Valine averages over 25 yards per kickoff return. And we're going to get to see that right away, Dave, excuse me, as Missouri Southern will kick off.
That's okay, Tom. I'm in Troy.
Kicking
I'll
off
stand here for the kickoff.
Kicking off will be Rich Grote. And back deep, Valine and Banks, two of the big play threats for Kearney State.
Windy enough today, Troy, that they've got a holder for the kickoff.
The wind is blowing almost straight out of the west. Squib kick, taking it to the 36-yard line, and promptly falls down right there. That's Paul Riley on the return. And you can see right there, Dave, Rich Grote and the Missouri Southern Lions are afraid of Valine and Banks back deep. They might not kick one deep all day.
Absolutely, Troy. I think they do respect the Kearney State special teams. Coming right away with some deception, trying to get that onside kick.
Kearney State will come out now, starting at their own 37-yard line, running out of that familiar I formation. Banks at the bottom of your screen. That's Ryan Siss at the top. Missouri Southern switches into its 4-3 defense. We'll set the lineups. As we see, Gary Hurt gets a call. He rolls to his left, looking across the middle. Now pulls it down. He's going to run out across the 40-yard line and stopped there.
Didn't get the number on that. I believe it was number 2 for the defense. Number 2 coming up from the backside defense. I'm lost on the number, but perhaps Troy can help me out there. That was number 2 on the tackle. No number 2 from Missouri Southern, although I'm sure I saw number 2 on the field. However, it brings up a 2nd and 5 situation for the Lopers.
Hurt picked up 5 that time. Gary Hurt, senior, 5th-year senior quarterback, gets to start. This time he gives up the middle to his fullback, Scott Shohan. Shohan dives out close to the 45-yard line, where we'll bring up a 3rd and short. Take a look at the Kearney State offensive line. Across the front, Scott Biddicombe, Tim McCaw gets to start at guard. The centers, Dennis Casper, and then that right side of the line, big right side of that line, Keith Hauser and Wade Robinson. Two of the linemen, the Lopers have over 300 pounds. Paul Riley will be wearing number 86. He's a starting tight end. Banks is a split end. Ryan Siss, the slot back. Hurt, the quarterback. Scott Shohan, the fullback. And 21, Chuck Mosley, is a starting tailback. This is Mosley, trying the right side, gets the first down.
He got it.
Struggles out to the 50-yard line. And it'll be enough for a Kearney State first down. This is really what Coach Boroff wanted right away, Dave.
Already some tempers flaring on the field as number 33 for the Lions. That's Matt Ellis mixing it up with a Kearney State player, but they got that broken up quickly.
For the Missouri Southern defense, James Galloway, left end, 6 foot, 200-pound senior. Left tackle, Kevin Durbin, 275-pound senior. Nose guard, Howard Carter, he's a good one, number 96, 265-pound junior. Right tackle is Mike King. And the right end, number 33, Matt Elledge. Looking at the linebacking core, a pretty strong linebacking core. Number 43, Greg Stonebarger. We'll be hearing his name all night. Stonebarger, a 6'2", 221-pound senior, really the leader of the defense. The other linebacker, Rob Davies, a 6'2", 225-pound sophomore. This Missouri Southern team, Dave, is really young. They play a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores.
Yes, I'm curious to see today, Troy, if Kearney State will have some success running to the outside or right up the gut. It would seem that their strength on the Lions' part on defense is their middle, with Stonebarger and Davies clogging it up. There they try an outside pitch.
Pitch to Mosley. He got about
coverage.
3 on the play. That'll bring up about a 2nd and 7. Rob Davies that time coming up from his linebacking spot to make the stop.
Mosley had a crack there for a moment, but Lions quickly closed it up.
Mosley and Pavich, both just little guys, 5'8", 5'8"-ish, about 170 pounds. Mosley, sophomore from Tampa, Florida, has been the starter most of this year. 2nd and 7 now for Kearney State. They go 2 wideouts to the top of the screen, Banks at the bottom. 1 setback, that's Shohan. Hurt drops straight back. Looking to his left, completes it to Riley. Riley's got a first down, struggles to get to the 35-yard line. Will be a little short, but it'll be first down Kearney State. Riley
showed his strength there, Troy, ripping away from one would-be tackler and carrying another one with him for extra yardage.
There you see Paul Riley, 6'4", 230-pound senior from Spalding Academy High School. Sun now trying to come out here at Foster Field, trying to give today's fans a nice day for the homecoming festivities.
The scoreboard seems to be changing the rules on us, Troy. We've got first down and 11. Kearney State may be favored, but I don't think they deserve the extra disadvantage.
Referee going to go talk it over with the Missouri Southern coach. Both teams 2-4, 1-2 in the CSIC. There you see first-year coach Bill Cook from Missouri Southern. Now it looks like we got it straightened out.
Kearney State's doing exactly what I would feel the coaching plan is today. Keep the ball away from Alan Brown. You keep the ball out of a fine quarterback's hands like that, and chances are you're going to have a better chance of winning the game.
I think you're absolutely right, Dave. Brown averaging almost 270 yards throwing a game. There you see Southern switching defenses, trying to confuse the Kearney State offensive line. Now Hurt may be checking off here. Option play, give to Shohan. Shohan just bulls his way for about 5 yards.
Nice tough running by Shohan. He's impressed me all season with his second and third efforts on runs.
Shohan did get 5. That'll bring up a 2nd and 5 now. Just underway here at Foster Field, 11:33 to go, first quarter. Scoreless tie. However, Kearney State on the move. Beline at the bottom of the screen. Sis in the slot and Banks at the top of the screen. One setback again. We've seen that a little more today than we have in the past.
Lions really mixing it up on defense, Troy, trying to confuse the Kearney State offense.
Exactly right. Give to Shohan again. Shohan bursts up the middle. Gets inside the 30-yard line to about the 28.
Boy, it's rare, Troy, that you see Shohan go down after that first initial hit.
That's exactly right, Dave. He runs tough. Takes usually 2 or 3 guys to bring him down.
Exactly what a fullback should do for a team.
Don Lee, number 80, into the ball game now at a tight end spot. Looks like the Lopers may go 2 tight ends here on this 3rd and 2 play. There's Banks at the bottom of the screen. They do go 2 tight ends. Lee and Riley stick with the same I formation, Shohan and Mosley.
No movement this time in the Lion defense.
Banks goes in motion. The give is to Mosley. He is drilled. That is Greg Stonebarger. Stonebarger blitzed in from his linebacking spot and dropped Mosley for about a 3-yard loss. A nice play there by Stonebarger, the 6'2", 221-pound senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I'd imagine, Troy, we can look for a lot of gambling on the part of the Missouri Southern State College Lions defense this game.
That's right. Missouri Southern really has nothing to lose. They're 2-4. They think they're better than their record indicates. They want to take some chances, make some things happen. Again, 3 wide receivers for Kearney State. We haven't seen that all year. Hurt drops straight back, looking for Sis. He steps up in the pocket, still looking. Now fires it, intended for Sis, incomplete.
Kearney State gambled on that on a 4th and 5 play, wanting to get the ball into the end zone this trip down the field.
Addy Gaddis, excuse me, Dave.
That's all right, Troy. Lions defense up to the task, though, stopping the Lopers this time.
Addy Gaddis, last year's starting quarterback for Missouri Southern.
Fine all-around athlete.
That's right. He made sure that Sis could not get his hands on the ball, and Missouri Southern takes over on downs. Our first look at Alan Brown. Brown's a 5'10", 173-pound junior. Played at Glendale Community College in Arizona last year. He's from Phoenix. He's going to go right to the air. A little quick out pattern. Complete. Pass is complete to number 12, Dennis Browning, his favorite receiver. Browning dances around, gets about 6 yards. That'll bring up 2nd and 4. Looking at Missouri Southern across the front line, Jim Probst, Mike Wicker, Dave Clark, Kevin Glenn, and John Reynolds. The linemen. Wide receivers, Dennis Browning and Don Lee Hurd. You'll hear their names quite a bit. Alan Brown is the quarterback. Jerome Stone, the slot back. Bill Wofford and Keith Hensel, freshman tailback.
It appears Browning is the shifty lateral type runner with the ball.
Pitch to Hessel this time. He goes nowhere. Great play there by Gransky. Todd Gransky that time came up from his defensive end spot. He smelled that play right away.
Absolutely, Troy. I think that may be an indication of the type of success or lack of success that the Lions may have rushing the ball today.
Lost 4 on the play. Gransky came up and hit the freshman Hessel and says, "Welcome to major college football." 3rd and 8 now for Kearney State. Excuse me, for Missouri Southern. As they come in, 4 wideouts. Kearney State's going to see a little something different here.
Kearney State really backing their safeties off on this play.
Brown rolls, complete to Hessel. He dances, makes a nice move. Gets out close to the first down. I think he's got it. A nice move there by freshman Heath Hessel.
Yes, it was. Solidly hit, though, by
got some extracurricular activities here on the Kearney State sideline.
That's twice now, Troy. There really seems to be some bad blood between these two teams already.
Bill Wofford, number 21, is going nuts over there. He's real fired up for this game. He'll be coming out now. We'll see if one of the coaches wants to have a little chat with him.
I would think so, Troy. Those type of activities are not condoned by either coaching staff, I'm sure.
Hessel did get the first down. So Missouri Southern gets its first down of the ball game. As we see Donnelly Hurd at the top of the screen. Hessel in the slot along with Jeremy Stone. Kind of an odd look for Missouri Southern. We give this time up the middle. Osborne, that's Chris Osborne. He's drilled. Looked like Scott Kovar and Todd Suey were the first men to hit him.
You know, they say, Troy, you try to establish a rushing game to open up the passing game, but I think in Missouri Southern's case, this game, they may have to do just the opposite. Establish the passing game to open up that rushing game.
We'll quickly take a look at the Kearney State defense. It's almost the same. We've seen the same lineup all year. Gransky, Yankee, White, and Bauer up front. Kovar, Suey. Dave Conley, he's a freshman. He gets the nod at the weak side starting linebacker spot today. 2nd and 8. Hessel in motion. They flood the right side. They're going to go that side complete. That's complete to Stone. Stone close to another first down.
You know, if you take a look at that play, Troy, I think that's an indication there of one of the reasons why the receivers get a chance to run with the ball after they catch the ball from Brown is that he gets the ball to him fast. He's got a quick delivery and a good arm, and he really zings the ball in there.
Stone is about a half yard short of the first down. So that'll bring up 3rd and short. The Kearney State defensive secondary, who will get a workout today. Rusty Conrad, Dan Gall, Scott Woodward, and Kevin Lyons. They will have their work cut out for them. As you see, Missouri Southern flooding the strong side of the field with 3 receivers near the bottom of your screen. 3rd and short. See what they decide to do. They give it off to Osborne, who has the first down. Plunges ahead for a couple of yards.
Yes, he got it easily, Troy. Brown showing exactly why early in this game, why he is the Central State Conference leading passer.
You can tell Brown is really the leader of the offense, too. He really gets his teammates going.
Absolutely.
Stacy Garner into the game now at wide receiver. He's at the bottom of your screen. 1st and 10, Missouri Southern. I formation this time for the Lions. Play action fake. Brown drops back, goes across the middle. He's got a man complete. Enough for another first down near the 35-yard line.
Fairly good coverage out there, Troy. Number 12, Browning, just found that open pocket and caught the ball and held on after a good solid hit from Dan Gall.
Dan Gall was there to make the tackle, but he was just a step late as Missouri Southern picks up another first down. So now Missouri Southern on the move inside the Kearney State 33-yard line.
Yeah, the sun comes out a little bit today as Missouri Southern comes over the ball.
Looks like Hurd and Hessel, and I believe Stone at the bottom of the screen. Reverse to Stone. He's drugged down from behind by Gransky. Gransky made the initial hit and drugged Jerome Stone down after a couple yards.
Fine play on the part of Kearney State's defense. They stayed home when they had to on the reverse. And
we'll also see Kurt Metzger and Jeff Espin at the defensive tackle spot. Yankee, White, Metzger, and Espin really share a lot of time at the defensive tackle spot. Good an official's timeout here. Kearney State takes a timeout. So with 5:25 to go in the first period, score is 0-0. Both offenses have had a field day so far, Dave.
Yes, they have, Troy. What do you suppose the reason is Coach Boroff called a timeout at this particular time?
I'm not really sure. He's over there talking with, there you see him talking with Scott Kovar. That's defensive coordinator Terry Renner.
I suppose Coach Boroff's probably a bit concerned on letting Missouri Southern get the momentum in this game, getting close to the end zone here.
So Missouri Southern having its way with the Kearney State defense right now. Kearney State facing a bit of an unorthodox offense. Missouri Southern going with 4 receivers for the most part.
Troy, KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank the Palm Garden Lounge, El Charro, Norte Restaurant, Bisco Sporting Goods, Nick's Euros, and Platte Valley State Bank and Trust for all their help in bringing you this KSC football game.
2nd and 8 now for Missouri Southern. You see what I'm talking about, those 3 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. Brown looking across the middle, complete to Hessel again. Hessel at the 20-yard line, 1st down.
Brown's here to
Missouri
play
Southern
today, Troy.
You can tell why Brown has had success throwing the ball. Like you said, Dave, with that quick release, it makes it really easy for his receivers if they just have a step. Brown can get rid of that ball very, very quickly.
Yes, that's right.
Conrad drug Hessel down at the 20-yard line, but it's 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line for Missouri Southern. Hurd and Hessel and Stone on the left side of the field. That's Hessel in motion. Brown rolls. Some pressure put on him now. He scrambles away, completes it for a short gain, about 4-yard gain to Jerome Stone.
Really a fine play on Brown's part there again, Troy. Scrambled away from pressure that just about had him and found his open receiver, gunned it in there. Showed that good, strong arm again.
Brown did feel some pressure, but it didn't faze him at all. He just rolled, stepped back, and found his man for about a 4-yard gain.
Looking at the statistics, Troy, it wouldn't seem that Brown is that mobile a quarterback, more of the drop back, shoot him right over the middle, but he showed some fancy footwork there, eluding the tackler.
Hessel in motion again. Straight drop this time for Brown, fires it complete to Hurd. Donley Hurd gets another 1st down for Missouri Southern. And I'm very impressed with this Missouri State offense.
You know, there's 2 parts to leading the CSIC in passing offense, and that's one's having a good arm, but I think the other part is having good receivers with good hands. And so far in this 1st quarter, all the receivers that Brown has picked out have shown good hands.
You're exactly right. Browning is his favorite target, but we've seen Donley Hurd and the starting tailback, Heath Hessel, all catch a few balls. Brown now lines up 1st and goal. Fires it into the flat, off the helmet of Bill Wofford and incomplete. Go ahead, Dave.
Looks for a moment there as if Kearney State had a chance for an interception, but number 2 couldn't quite react. Number 2,
Scott Baker.
Scott Baker couldn't quite react quick enough.
I believe that's the 1st pass Alan Brown has not completed. As the clock stops with 4:19 to go, 1st period. Troy Berryman along with Dave Hardman bringing you today's homecoming action between Kearney State and Missouri Southern. Again, Missouri Southern spreads the field. Rolling right, looking into flat. Some pressure put on by Gransky. Brown gets it away into the end zone. Overthrown. Intended for Wofford again. No, excuse me, intended for Jerome Stone. Good coverage that time by Rusty Conrad, Dave.
Number 11 on number 11. Yeah, Rusty Conrad covering. That was Jerome Stone. Number 11 on number 11. He had a couple steps on Rusty Conrad, but on the run and off balance, he couldn't quite get the ball to him in the far end zone.
One thing Brown does not want to do right now is throw an interception. He might have been throwing that one away. Coming back here on this 3rd and goal play from the 9-yard line. We'll see what they do. Here's Brown. Browning in motion. He rolls to his right. Again, more pressure put on by Gransky. Brown's going to have to go out of bounds. Loss of about a yard. Big pressure put on over there by Suey, Gransky, and Scott Kovar, along with Mike White. So the Kearney State defense really stiffens when they have to, and it's really tough for Missouri Southern to get that passing offense going this deep in Kearney State territory because the receivers have that less of an area to maneuver in.
Absolutely.
Rich Grodon to attempt a field goal. It's going to be a 28-yard attempt. It's up. Not very high, but splits the uprights.
Not pretty, but it got the job done and put 3 points on the board for the Lions.
So with exactly 4 minutes to go, 1st period, Kearney State trails the Missouri Southern State College Lions 3-0.
This game has been brought to you in part by the Fireside Inn, Moley's Motorworks, Frontier Liquor, Bogart Supermart, Copperfields, and LJ's Home and Appliance Center. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank these businesses for their support.
Here you see the Kearney State return team and the various number of balloons that have been floating around Foster Field today.
Well, that shows the homecoming fever on campus, Troy, and hopefully that'll carry over onto the Kearney State team.
Valine and Banks standing at their own 15-yard line. They don't expect a deep kick from Grote, and the opening kickoff went about 20 yards. Grote does it again. Picked up again by Riley. He's going to try and make something out of nothing, and he goes out at the 39-yard line, which is where Kearney State will take over.
Would seem Riley had no intention of returning that ball. He took it west.
Kearney State takes over, throwing 39-yard line. I formation. Sis and Banks at the top of the screen. Pitch this time to Trevor Pavich. Pavich has got a little hole. And he goes out of bounds after a gain of 2.
Pavich saw the hole and exploded through it there. Picked up 2 yards on the play.
Franny Pyle, one of the best names in college football today. Franny Pyle, there to make the stop on Trevor Pavich. Pavich and Chuck Mosley have split time at that tailback spot. Pavich is only averaging about 40 yards a game rushing. Banks at the bottom of the screen, Valine at the top. 2nd and 8. Hurt drops, now he gives to Pavich. Pavich is drugged down. First man there, number 45, Rob Davies.
Once again, the Lions defense stunning and gambling quite a bit. One of these times, Kearney State may just break one on them.
That's right, that's how it goes. The defense can stunt and blitz as much as they want, but if Kearney State hits the right hole on the right play, that's going to be a touchdown. Davies and Stonebarger, 2 very tough linebackers in the CSIC. No gain on the play, 3rd and 8. I formation again for Kearney State. Hurt play action fake. Looks across the middle, got some time to throw. Hits his man complete to Doug Banks. Doug Banks to the 47-yard line, first down. Banks has really been one of the big play people for Kearney State.
He gave a quarterback like that that kind of protection, Troy, and he's going to complete the pass, and sure enough, he found the receiver over the middle.
That's Banks' 20th catch on the year. He's well over 320 yards receiving, and he's also caught 2 TDs. 1st and 10, Kearney State at the Missouri Southern 44-yard line. Kearney State has moved the ball today. They turned the ball over on downs on their first possession. Sis goes in motion. Hurt rolls. Pass is incomplete, intended for Paul Riley.
Had receivers open downfield, Troy, but just didn't have the time to find them. As the Lions once again gambled and sent 6 or 7 players in on the rush.
Lions trying to bring as many people as they can to put some pressure on Gary Hurt. However, the offensive unit doing a nice job of protecting Mr. Hurt. Has not been sacked yet. The incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10. 2:35 to go, first period. Travis Valine in motion. Reverse, here comes Valine the other way.
Got blocking ahead of him.
He's dumped by Mark Carr, number 8. Carr came up, stayed at home, and made a nice play. Valine did manage to pick up about 5 yards. So that'll bring 3rd and 5. That time Carr really did a nice job. He was really one of the last men that had a chance at Valine. Because you're right, Dave, Kearney State did have some people out front.
Yes, he did. Yes, they did. And number 8 just barreled right up there and made the tackle.
3rd and 5, Kearney State. Under 2 minutes to go, first period. They stay with the familiar I formation. Riley steps off the line. Now he comes in motion. Hurt, straight drop this time. Ball thrown out in the flat, almost picked off. Intended for Ryan Sis. However, Mark Carr made another nice play and almost came up with a big interception.
2 nice plays in a row. Actually, that ball was almost picked off twice. One man had his hands up within distance of it. Then it hit Carr right in the breadbasket, but he couldn't hang on.
Brings up 4th down. Doug Banks on the punt. Doing a nice job punting this year.
Banks a valuable facet to this team. both as a receiver and a punter and a punt returner.
Averaging almost 38 yards a kick. Gets this one high, trying to get it inside the 10-yard line, but it bounces into the end zone. Missouri State will start at their own 20-yard line.
Normally, I guess you'd call that a Kearney State bounce, but in this particular instance, it was a Lions bounce.
That's right. Coach Boroff said the Lopers come into the ball game relatively injury-free, but he really wants them to be emotionally ready.
KSTV will rebroadcast this game between Kearney and Missouri Southern State this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on cable channel 25.
Missouri Southern over the ball now. Wofford is the remaining tailback as they line up 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Odd formation. I believe that's Hurd. This is Stone going in motion. And they give it right up the middle of Wofford. Todd Suey down on the play. He went down very awkwardly. He's still down. That might be another ankle injury.
Hobbling.
There you see 52, Todd Suey. I'm sure that's what it is. He fell back on that ankle, and you could see it. You could see it twist. So Suey not putting hardly any weight on that ankle. Gain of about 4 on the play, 2nd and 6.
A little bit of confusion on the defense for Kearney State.
That's right, Darren Gunn replaces Suey as flags fly. Flags are down all over the field. Let's see what they want.
As the Lions shuffle in some more players.
The legal procedure on Missouri Southern. That'll set the Lions back 5 yards. They stack the 3 wide receivers at the top of the screen. Now Stone comes in motion. Drop back by Brown. Brown looking deep. Picked off at the 40-yard line. Pass intended for Helsel. Nice job.
Well, the first big mistake on Brown's part, and Kearney State capitalizes as
Scott Baker picks that one off.
That's right, Scott Baker with the interception.
So Kearney State will take over at the Missouri Southern 41-yard line.
Could be just the boost that Kearney State needs right now, Troy.
We can see Todd Suey down on the sideline from here. He's in a lot of pain with that ankle.
Yes, he is.
1st and 10, Kearney State. I formation. Banks at the bottom of the screen. Southern jumping around, trying to make something happen on defense. They come with a blitz, but Pavich breaks it through. Keith Hauser did a very, very nice job of picking up the blitz, allowing Chuck Mosley to get out inside the 35-yard line to almost a 33.
A good example there, Troy, of just how a team can, offensive team can capitalize when the defensive team gambles.
That's exactly right. 36, Jason Wright came on a hard blitz and was kicked out nicely by Hauser. Southern moving again. Brad Aerosmith now at the fullback spot. As Hurt rolls left, fires complete to Valine. Valine inside the 25-yard line and out of bounds at the 24, stopping the clock with 8 seconds to go here first quarter.
Two pretty plays in a row, Troy. Nice pass completion to Valine and Chuck Moses around.
Banks comes in with the play. Aerosmith and Mosley in the backfield behind 5th-year senior Gary Hurt. Banks now goes in motion. Handoff is to Mosley, trying the left side. Mosley bounces, gets close to the 20-yard line, picks up about 4 yards as the first quarter ends.
Nice piece of running on Mosley's part. Ran up tough, got hit a couple times, and spun and twisted and made some yards out of it. Don't miss the Claire Boroff Show every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. Coach Boroff and the KSTV staff take an in-depth look at the ins and outs of KSC football. The Claire Boroff Show every Sunday at 4:30 and Thursday at 7.
As the teams switch ends of the field at the end of the first period, with Missouri Southern leading 3-0, we'd like to tell you that we are KSTV, cable channel 25. All our programs originate out of the telecommunications office in the Calvin T. Ryan Library. These programs are produced by students in the telecommunications department at Kearney State College. Troy Berryman and Dave Hardman, along with Doug Greenwalt and Brian Voldenall here, bring you the homecoming clash between Kearney State and Missouri Southern State College. Missouri Southern getting the better end of it here in the first period. They lead 3-0, but Kearney State is threatening again, faced with a 2nd and 6 situation at the Missouri Southern 20-yard line.
Well, Coach Blairoff certainly not happy with that first quarter of play, down 3-0, but certainly not unovercomable.
Hurt gives to Aerosmith. Aerosmith breaks up the middle, gets to the 15-yard line. Just a bit short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and short. Brad Aerosmith does a nice job backing up Scott Shohan. Aerosmith getting some playing time early here.
Yes, if the defense thinks they're going to get a break by having Aerosmith in the game rather than Shohan, they're in for a surprise.
You're exactly right. 3rd and a yard for Kearney State. We're just underway here, second period. Kearney State goes 2 tight ends and I formation. Here comes Banks all the way across the field in motion. Pitches to Mosley. Mosley looking for the first down. He's got it. And he goes out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. Mosley gets the first down with 14-17 to go. The Lopers have a 1st and 10 situation at the 12-yard line. Missouri Southern will have to try and tighten the strings on defense, led by linebackers Greg Stonebarger and Rob Davies, if they want to keep the Lopers out of the end zone. Biddicombe, McCaw, and Casper, the left side of that line. We'll see if they run behind them again. They're going to throw. Hurt has his ball deflected at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't tell who that was.
I'm trying to look myself, Troy.
Might have been 99, Brian Down, 246-pound sophomore.
I believe you may be right, Troy.
So the incomplete pass makes it a 2nd down and 10 situation. This Missouri State defense really does a nice job. But as you said in the pregame, Dave, they're inconsistent. They limited the Fort Hays State Tigers rushing offense to 10 yards. That's something a lot of people haven't been able to do. Hurt in big pressure, but he completes it to Scott Meyer, touchdown.
Heady play on the part of Gary Hurt. Under intense pressure, gets the ball off to an open receiver, puts it on the money. Touchdown, Kearney State.
Hurt was under big pressure.
And the balloons fly here at Foster Field.
But he got the ball off. It was kind of a duck. But Meyer was there to run underneath it.
Well, that was a duck that flew right into the waiting arms.
Backup slot back, 202-pound junior from Gretna cashes in the Loper 6 points. Grauer holds to attempt the extra point. Low snap. They get it down, and Grauer holds punches it through. Backup quarterback Russ Harvey did a nice job with the snap. And Grauer holds punches through Kearney's 7th point of the afternoon. So 14:08 to go, second period. Kearney State leads 7-3. And you really can't say enough about that pass from Gary Hurt.
Absolutely. That ought to lift the spirits, for at least temporarily, of Coach Claire Boroff. The team now gaining a little bit of momentum here on this homecoming game. Kearney State looking for their 3rd consecutive win over these Lions. Again, leading the series 7-4. If your campus or community organization would like an event listed on KSTV's video bulletin board, please call 234-8251. This is a free service provided by KSTV through Kearney State College. The video bulletin board can be seen on this channel before and after our regular programming.
Now to kick off.
Well, do you think Kearney State will attempt one of those squib kicks, Troy?
I don't think so. I think they're going to kick it deep. Because back deep for Missouri Southern, Chris Osborne and Stacy Garvey. Garholtz kicks it high and short. Garney takes it at his own 5-yard line. He's going to hit upfield now. He's hemmed in and dropped.
Could be a fumble on the play.
At his own 15-yard line. First man there, number 18, Mike Arnold, back up defensive back.
Garner nearly misjudged that ball. He had to make a over-the-shoulder catch down near the 3-yard line and then came back into the teeth of a swarming Kearney State defense.
The wind is playing. The wind is a little hard to judge here today. Seems to be swirling here at Foster Field. 1st and 10. Missouri Southern stacks 3 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. 1st and 10 from their own 15-yard line. Looks like that's Hurd, Halsell, and I believe Browning at the bottom of your screen.
Once again, lining up in a trips sort of formation.
That's just another thing Kearney State's got to adjust to. As we seem to have an official's timeout. The officials talking with defensive coordinator Terry Renner.
I'm a little bit surprised by this formation, Troy. I guess you'd refer to that as trips, wouldn't you?
I don't know what you call that, but...
trip stack, perhaps.
Now the team's going back to the huddle. Going to try and do it over. Now the sun peeking through again. Trying to warm up this homecoming crowd.
Intermittent sunlight today, but still a good day for football.
Exactly right. There you see the 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. 1 at the top. That is Browning. That's Stone in motion, and they hand it off. Stacked up by the middle of the Kearney State defense. Kovar, along with Bobby Joe Russell, and number 5, Kevin Lyons, all there to make the stop.
Would you say there was a little bit of emotion on the part of the Kearney State defense that time, Troy?
That's what Coach Boroff wants. He wants some emotion, and Bobby Joe Russell, number 56, really tried to show some there.
For a minute there, it looked like they were doing the Gastineau dance.
Donnelly, Stone, and Helsel again at the bottom of the screen. 2nd and 8. Stone in motion. Drop back, looking across the middle. He's got a man complete. Drug down to the 34-yard line. That's Donnelly Hurd. Hurd brought down by Conrad, but not before he picks up 18 yards and a 1st down.
Brown had good protection on that play and found his man cutting across the field. That's a tough route to cover.
That's exactly right.
Particularly if the quarterback has time to throw the ball.
Suey not back in the game. He's got his shoulder pads off. He might be done for the rest of the afternoon. 1st and 10, Missouri Southern.
Back to their basic
Drop
offensive
back,
line.
throw out in the flat to Helsel. We're gonna let him run with it.
Oh!
But he doesn't run very far. Scott Kovar corrals him at the 36-yard line.
No flags on the play, Troy, but for a moment there, I thought he might have got a piece of that helmet.
He flipped around pretty quickly, and it looked to us from here that Kovar might have got some face mask on that play.
Looked like the old-fashioned clothesline.
But apparently not. Helsel gets 3 yards. They must have had some success with that. Brown just drops back, throws it out to Helsel, and it's really kind of a naked screen. They're going to let Helsel dance around and try and get some yardage out of it.
Yes, it is, Troy, and with the nimble feet that Helsel has, he has been successful so far.
Play action fake, Brown back to pass, looking for Hurd again. That's picked off, and a nice play there by Rusty Conrad.
Number 2.
Conrad picks it off nicely. Pass intended for Donnelly Hurd, but Conrad made sure he didn't get that far.
Well, if this continues, Troy, it could be a long day for the Lions.
Exactly right. They really live and die by the forward pass. And right now, the Kearney State defense is picked off, too.
Their road to success, Troy, would seem to lie in their methodic movement down the field with the short pass and run. Long pass has resulted now in 2 interceptions for the Lions.
1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line.
Once again, mass movement on the part of the Lions defense.
Stonebarger fakes a blitz. See what they want to do. Here comes Stonebarger. Hurt lobs one up for Riley. He's got it. He pulls it in. Foot race to the end zone. Touchdown, Kearney State.
They've got a flag on the play, however, Troy. So let's
There's a flag down. That might be defensive pass interference. We'll have to see. A pretty play, though. Hurt did a beautiful job reading the blitz, and Riley did a nice job of getting himself open. We'll see what the flag is.
I agree with you, Troy. I think this is going to be on the defense. There was some contact, and it certainly wasn't Riley's fault.
There it was, you see. Kearney State quickly declines it. Touchdown, Kearney State. Like we said, with that gambling defense, Dave, if Kearney State hits the right play, it's going to go a long ways.
Exactly, Troy, and you know what Kearney State did there? They did a good job of picking up the blitz. They had the linebacker coming in from the outside, blocked off, and it gave Hurt just enough time to loft that ball up.
52-yard pass play from Gary Hurt to Paul Riley.
He really laid that ball nice in there, Troy.
The Lopers lead 13-3 with the extra point try coming up. That time Southern brought Greg Stonebarger and I believe Randy Pyle, their quarterback, on a blitz. Riley saw it, got himself open, and Hurt did a beautiful job of laying that ball up. Now Grauerholz has been out there quite a long time, ready to kick this extra point.
Well, it's span of about 2.5, 3 minutes here, Troy. Kearney State has scored twice.
The kick is up and good. Grauerholz makes the score 14-3 with 12:01 to go in the first half.
Troy, if you believe a picture can tell 1,000 tales, then KSTV has the show for you. Modern Talking Pictures every Tuesday at 5 p.m. right here on Cable Channel 25.
So Lopers hit another big play. So with 12:01 to go, it's 14-3. Kearney State will kick off from the 50-yard line, as the pass interference penalty will be enforced here on the kickoff. So Grauerholz will boot it from the 50-yard line. So Grauerholz will get a chip shot here from the 50-yard line. Again, we see Osborne and Kearney back deep. We'll see if Grauerholz just puts this one between the uprights. He bangs it.
It's good.
And he gets it to the uprights. So Missouri Southern will start from their own 20-yard line, trying to get that offensive threat back in gear.
What do you think? You think they ought to give 3 points for that play? I think they ought to make that a new rule.
Well, I don't know. The pass interference call made it easy, as Grauerholz booted it from the 50-yard line. So we'll see if Alan Brown could get his teammates back down the field, as 2 interceptions have set up all 14 of Kearney State's points. They're not going to change anything up, as Gransky almost picks it off.
I'll tell you what, Troy, if he hadn't been tangled up there with number 80. No, it can't be number 80. Number 20 it was Chris Osborne. He might have just picked that one off, but in going down, rather tangled up, he missed his chance. Nice play, however.
Pass intended for Browning, but Gransky did a nice job of timing it, getting his big hands up in the air. Southern now. As quarterback draw. I don't know if that was planned or not, but it didn't go very far. Chuck Acker, the right defensive end, will get credit for a solo stop. Also there, Kurt Metzger and Jeff Essman.
Troy, there is nothing like emotion and momentum to help a defense and a team in general. And that's exactly what Kearney State has right now.
I can't stress enough, that's what Coach Boroff wants. He wants his team to be emotionally ready, and he wants them to show a little more emotion out on the field.
Well, they came out a bit slow, but they're certainly picking up the pace now.
3rd and 11. Brown, play action fake, looking across the middle. He's got a man complete, wide open. It's Hessel. Hessel to the 40-yard line, and knocked out of bounds by number 2, Scott Baker. Oh. But a big play. 25 yards to Keith Hessel. And a first down, 11:16 to go, first half.
Hessel wide open on that play. A lot of running room also.
First and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Alan Brown, straight drop. 5 receivers in the pattern. He completes it to Kearney. Excuse me, that's Jerome Stone, who was dropped there by Dave Collin. Collin, just a freshman, 6'4", 207-pounder from Omaha Groves High School, who got the starting nod today over Troy Schubert.
Stone broke open there due to a little bumping with his initial coverage, then broke into the flat.
Gain of about 6 on the play. Second 4. I formation this time for Missouri Southern. We got some movement on the line. That's going to go on Missouri Southern. Look like number 74, Jim Probst, excuse me, 6'2", 255-pound senior. Moved a little early.
That comes with 10:35 left in the half.
There you see the call, illegal procedure on Missouri Southern. So we'll move 5 yards back. And Missouri Southern will be faced with a 2nd and 9. Missouri Southern up over the ball now, still I formation. The 3 wideouts. We won't see a tight end.
Kearney State brings the free safety up.
This time the give is to Helsel from his tailback spot. He gets across the 50-yard line to the 48. It'll still bring up 3rd and about 6.
Indication by the scoreboard, Troy, is 3rd and 9. We'll see if they, yeah, there they corrected. It's 3rd and 6 now.
That middle linebacker spot is being filled today by Bobby Joe Russell and Darren Gunn, replacing Todd Suey, who went out earlier with an ankle injury. Helsel in motion. Nobody left in the backfield. Brown drops back, quick gun, incomplete. Intended for Donnelly Hurd, who had his hands on the ball until number 11, Dan Gall, separated the ball from Mr. Donnelly Hurd.
Talked earlier about the sure hands of these Missouri Southern State receivers, but that time number 89 couldn't quite hold on to it, and the pressure was there.
Gall did a nice job. Once the ball touched Donnelly Hurd's hands, he put a big hit on him and made sure he wasn't going to get his hands on it again. Rick Larimore in the punt now. Good snap. Loper's going to try and set up a return. One of their best things they've done all year. As Banks calls for and gets the fair catch. The 12-yard line, which is where the Kearney State Antelopes will start out. They lead 14-3, 9:26 to go here, first half.
You are watching KSTV, cable channel 25 in Kearney, Nebraska. This broadcast is produced by students in the broadcasting department at Kearney State College. The punter that time for the Lions had plenty of time to get that kick off, and he knew that, so he took his time and let his coverage get down.
That's right, one setback for Kearney State. I think Kearney wants to set up some returns because Banks has done a marvelous job on punt returns. Shohan bursts up the middle, makes a nice move there, struggles out close to the 33-yard line. Guy Shohan, 21 big yards. I don't think he saw anything but green that time, Dave.
Shohan rarely ceases to impress me. They showed some moves of a halfback there, and of course the power that he does possess. Just bowled through about 4 or 5 people there.
I don't think he sees anything but the grass, though. I've never seen him lift his head when he gets the ball. He's joined in there, but Pavich, it looks like, at the tailback spot, 1st and 10. Doug Banks in motion. Pitches to Pavich, trying the right side. Looking for an opening, and is drilled down by Greg Stonebarger. Pavich got about, we'll give him a couple yards, bring up 2nd and 8. Stonebarger, good lateral movement, and he made a tackle almost on the sideline.
Excellent lateral movement, and I think he showed Pavich why he's one of the leading defensive players for these Lions. Good solid stick.
Pavich looked like he had a little bit of running room until he saw Stonebarger. Stonebarger buried his helmet in his ribs and pretty much dropped him.
What a name for a linebacker, Stonebarger. Fits.
Sis in the slot. Valine at the top of the screen. Here comes Sis in motion. Give again to Shohan. This time he doesn't go anywhere. The Missouri State Lions, led by Kevin Durbin, defensive tackle, along with Mike King, the other defensive tackle, there to stack Shohan up for about a gain of 1, so to bring up a 3rd and 6.
Make sure you stay tuned at halftime for the homecoming festivities here at halftime, where they will announce royalty and float and banner winners.
Split backs for Kearney State as Hurt drops straight back. Now he rolls to his left, looking downfield. Now he's going to run it. He's across the 40-yard line, trying to get to the 43-yard line for the first down. We'll see where they mark it.
May have made it, Troy. Made a valiant effort.
It's all going to come down to the spot. We can't see because the Kearney State players. There you see Gary Hurt. And he got the first down. So 1st and 10 Kearney. They wind the clock. We're down to 7:22 to go. First half. Shohan and Pavich in the backfield behind Gary Hurt, who I've been pretty impressed with today. Give to Pavich, trying the left side. He's stacked up again by Durbin. Kevin Durbin doing a nice job from his defensive tackle position. 6'2", 275-pound senior
Well,
from Seneca, Missouri.
Nowhere to go that time for Pavich, but I'll tell you, he never does tiptoe into the line. He gets the ball and charges headlong.
That's right. Pavich, just a 5'9", 170-pounder. Got about 2 that time, but you're right, he only knows 1 speed, and that's full speed.
I think his philosophy is if there's a hole there, I'll find it, and if not, I won't.
Meyer in the slot now replacing Sis as the line's jumping all over. Meyer gets the reverse. He's across the 50-yard line. He got about to the 48.
The reverse having some moderate success today for Kearney State, Troy.
Behind Hauser and Don Lee. Scott Meyer followed his blocking. Got close to the first down to bring up 3rd and a long yard. Travis Valine in at the split end position. He's at the top of the screen. Still I formation. 3rd and short. Pitch to Pavich trying to pick up the first down. He's got some room. Trevor Pavich trying to get to the corner. And he stays on his feet. Pavich does a nice job. Trevor Pavich got the first down and more.
Just when you're about ready to look where to mark the ball, Troy, he breaks away.
Addy Gaddis that time, free safety, came up and looked like he had Pavich dead to rights. Was going to drop him, but Pavich spun away and got another 6 yards down to the Missouri Southern 36-yard line.
That's the type of runner Pavich is. He just doesn't give up. He's not down until his head and shoulders are touching the turf.
1st and 10 Kearney. Trying to add to their already their 14-3 lead. Reverse again to Banks. Banks has got some people out in front of him if he can get to the corner, but he can't. And I believe that's Stonebarger again. Flag goes down. Stonebarger did make the play. We've got a Missouri Southern player down. You see at the bottom right of your screen.
That's right, Troy. I can't quite catch his number from here.
He really received a big crackback block.
And he is not moving, Troy.
On those reverses, when apparently he might have been clipped because that's what the call is. He's a clip on Kearney State.
Well, that'll back him up.
I didn't see what happened, but it looks like the player who was down might have been the recipient of a clip. They're working on him right now. But everything's flowing to the right, and Banks took the handoff from Pavich and went the other way. Those defensive linemen are prime targets to get drilled, while the offensive linemen that are cracking back on them.
Absolutely, and not to lessen or lighten the serious levity here, but one of the reasons that play didn't go, Troy, I believe, is it just developed too deep.
Yeah.
Banks took the ball 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and it just gave the defense too much time to react.
That's exactly right.
Troy, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., KSTV News Magazine will inform you on the latest happenings in the Kearney community and on the campus. That's KSTV News Magazine every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Still working on the guy down on the field. We haven't found out who it is. When play resumes here with 5:04 to go first half, Kearney State will be penalized 15 yards. And the player who was down was number 60, Kevin Durbin, the defensive tackle, who has been really impressive so far today. He's walking off under his own power. We'll have to hope he's all right. May have just got his bell rung.
That may be the case.
It didn't look like a knee or an ankle.
No. Absolutely. A lot of times on those crackbacks, that's a prime thing to happen, is just to get your bell rung a bit.
First and 25 for Kearney State at their own 49-yard line. Sis goes in motion again. Hurt rolls to his left. Looking for Sis. He's got him complete inside the 40-yard line to the 38.
Nice pass on the run there by Gary Hurt.
So Hurt picks up about 13 yards on first down. That's really the way you want to do it. When you're faced with a first and 25-yard line and 25 yards to go, you don't want to go for the whole thing. You want to chip away and get yourself into a situation where you can have a 3rd and 4 or a 3rd and 5.
Good observation, Troy.
13-yard gain, 2nd and 12, Kearney State. Valine at the top of the screen, Banks at the bottom. Give to Mosley this time. Mosley up the middle. Chuck Mosley replacing Pavich, who comes out for a breather.
Had some success there with the draw as the ball is advanced up to the 38-yard line.
Also, Dennis Foss and Scott Ford are in the ball game. Ford is the center and Foss playing guard right now. We'll try and get any other changes we can to you. Scott Biddicombe still is 1 tackle, and it looks like Hauser and Robinson are the anchors of that right side of the line. 3rd and 7 as Lopers go pro set, and Hurt drops straight back. 3 receivers into the pattern, fires across the middle, incomplete. Intended for Doug Banks. That was just a poorly thrown ball by Gary Hurt.
Threw into some pretty heavy coverage also, Troy.
You're absolutely right. Gaddis, along with number 36, Jason Wright, were there to make sure that Doug Banks didn't get his hands on the ball. That'll bring up a 4th and 7. A little too far away for Grauerholtz.
Well, I don't know, Troy, the way he kicked that ball through the goal post on that kickoff, he may not be. But indeed, they're going to punt it away.
You're going to have a hard time getting it off. They might be called for delay of game here.
Think maybe a fake here?
I don't think so, not with 4th and 7. Banks is going to try and angle it out of bounds. And he's going to get it out of bounds.
Nice.
The 5-yard line. So Doug Banks comes through. It's only going to go down as a 30-yard punt, but it pins Missouri Southern deep in their own territory, where with 3:43 to go, first half, the Lopers lead 14-3.
Once again, Banks showing his importance to this team. Hey, don't miss the Claire Boroff Show every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. Coach Boroff and the KSTV staff take an in-depth look at the ins and outs of KSC football. The Claire Boroff Show every Sunday at 4:30 and Thursday at 7.
Alan Brown brings his team up to the line of scrimmage, trailing 14-3. He's got 3:43 to move his team 95 yards. Ball is given up the middle to Wofford. Bowls his way for about 4 yards. Looks like Russell and who else? Russell and Gransky, along with number 2 Scott Baker, all there to make the stop, along with the rest of the Kearney State defense. It's hard to tell from up here who's there to make the play.
Yes, it is.
2nd and 6 for Southern. Is this time? Excuse me.
Wofford, a good-sized back for the Lions. 230 pounds, 6'2".
He gets it again, and he's got some room. He gets out across the 15-yard line, close to a first down. We'll have to see if he's got it. Officials call timeout. Might have to bring out the change.
Kearney State defense getting settled into the likes of the shifty-footed Hensel. Then they bring in the big north-south runner in Wofford.
Wofford, 6'1", 230-pound senior from Coffeyville. Like you said, Dave, he's a big kid. Helsel now goes in motion from his tailback spot. And Brown goes straight back, lobs it up. He's got a man complete. And Gall was the last man to make the tackle on Rod Smith. Smith, the backup quarterback in the ball game, that time caught a nice pass from Brown.
Straight fly pattern and just beat his man on that play.
Smith, 6'2", 170-pound freshman who can fly. He's got some good speed.
Nicely thrown ball also by Brown.
And so just like that, Missouri Southern is threatening offensively here with 2:12 to go, first half. Straight drop by Brown again. Looking across the middle, he's got a man complete. The ball is complete to Stone, who's tackled by Kovar after about a 5-yard gain. So Missouri Southern now starting to get their offense in gear as they need to. They trail 14-3. And if you're the Missouri Southern coach, you really need some points on the board going into the halftime.
That would be Cook, the first-year coach for the Missouri State Lions.
It's really been a revolving door of coaches since last year. They've had 3 in the past year. Stone in motion, and Brown rolls to his left. He's got some room, but he's going to throw it off Stone's hands, incomplete. Stone was open too, Dave.
Yes, he was, and had his hands on it, but that time he couldn't hold on to it.
Scott Baker there in the coverage, along with Scott Kovar, who dropped back in his zone. But Stone was open, and he got 2 hands on the ball.
Absolutely.
One of the rules for receivers, unwritten rules for receivers, if you can touch it with both hands, you should catch it.
Well, I'm not so sure if that's not written somewhere. Well, the Lions' offense, dormant much of the second quarter, has suddenly come to life here and facing a 3rd and 4.
Kearney State people on the sideline want to get the crowd into it, and they're trying. 3rd and about 4. Brown goes deep, looking for Hessel. He's got him, but out of bounds.
Nope.
Hessel could not get 1 foot in bounds, although he tried.
Oh, it looked close. It looked close, Troy, but
he got his hands on it and tried to drag that left foot down, but he couldn't. So now
the man in black and white was right there, and
so is our cameraman, Doug Greenwald.
Absolutely. Good work.
So now Missouri Southern coaching staff faced with a 4th and 4 with 1:20 to go. First half. They're going to go for it. So the Lopers trying to turn back the Lions right here. One of the biggest plays of the game so far. Helsel in motion. They need 4 yards. And Brown straight drop. He goes deep across the middle. Picked off. Picked off by Gall in the end zone. They're going to rule he was in the end zone. They're going to bring it out to the 20-yard line. Kind of just a duck thrown up that time by Brown.
Well, he saw his man. He couldn't quite get enough on it. I think he wanted to make that a little bit farther through. And
intended for Smith, who made the big play earlier. And Gall caught the ball on the goal line, but they ruled his momentum carried him into the end zone.
You know, it looked almost like he caught the ball at about the 1-yard line, and I thought they may call it there, but I think the rule is if the momentum carries you into the end zone, then it comes back out to the 20.
I think you're absolutely right. So Kearney State's got 1:12 to see what they can do offensively. And I think Coach Bill Cook wants to find out why Kearney State does not have the ball at the 1-yard line. He wants a little clarification.
Well, he'll get clarification, but I doubt he'll get his way.
It's not going to help, I don't think. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 3 wide receivers for Kearney. Lions faking a blitz.
Got some movement over there.
Got a flag down, free play, as Aerosmith bulls his way for about 7 yards. I think that flag will be on Missouri Southern. We'll have to see. Stops the clock with 1:05 to go.
Well, if Kearney has the opportunity to decline this penalty, I think they should, as Aerosmith picked up nearly 8 yards on that play.
They do, as you see the offsides.
Decline.
And it is declined, so to bring up 2nd and about 2 yards, and Aerosmith will get credit for the 8 yards he picked up. However, the clock is running now. We're under a minute to play, first half.
Two big, tough fullbacks for Kearney State, and Scott Chilhan and Brad Aerosmith.
Kearney State's going to have to hurry. We're down to 50 seconds to go. They'd like to get a field goal going into the half. But Hurt, I believe that's Russ Harvey. Nope, that's Hurt. He's going to throw, and it's almost picked off. Should have been picked off, as a matter of fact. Number 33, Matt Elledge, had his hands all over the ball at the 35-yard line.
Well, I'll bet Elledge is kicking himself right now. He could have given his offense a chance one more time to put that ball in the end zone.
That's right.
Deep in Kearney State territory.
I think Hurt is just glad he's got that back. We'll have to see. Now maybe Coach Boroff might think he just wants to run it out and go in to the intermission leading 14-3.
Absolutely.
That's what they're going to do. As Aerosmith pulls forward, gets a first down. Now Missouri Southern wants to call timeout. They're going to see if they can stop Kearney State right here and try and get the ball back.
Well, why not? There's 32 seconds left. They might as well take a shot.
So they take the timeout with 32 seconds to go. The whole Missouri Southern defense goes over to chat with their defensive coaching staff. As you see, the players there traveled a long way from Joplin, Missouri to get here today. They left yesterday morning at 7 o'clock.
That's a long trip, Troy.
Worked out briefly yesterday afternoon here at Foster Field.
KSTV will rebroadcast this game between Kearney and Missouri Southern State College this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on cable channel 25.
And there's the blue and gold of Kearney State. 1-2 in the final year of the CSIC, the Central States Intercollegiate Conference, and 2-4 overall. Todd Suey said it best this week when he said this game is really the catalyst for the remainder of the season. If they can win this, he said, they could end up 7-4, while if they lose this week, they might just pack it up and go 2-9.
Full 11-game schedule this year.
First and 10, Kearney State, 32 seconds to go. Reverse coming, but they fake it. Mosley still got it. He's across the 40-yard line to the 45, almost to the 50-yard line.
That play has been working for him all day, Troy.
I really like that play. We've seen the reverse twice, and this time they fake it. And it worked real well for Kearney. That kind of foiled the plans of Missouri Southern to get the ball back. And now Kearney will take a timeout because they're trying to get in field goal range. So that big play really turns the tide. Hurt comes over to chat with Coach Claire Boroff.
You know, Troy, the only time I can think of the reverse not gaining at least 5 yards today was, of course, the play where we were penalized for 15 yards on the clip. And even then, Missouri Southern paid the price as number 60. That was Kevin Durbin, their defensive tackle, went out of the game with a head dinger.
There you see Gary Hurt, 6'4", 198-pound senior from Nelson, Nebraska, chatting with his coach. Now with first and 10 from their own 49-yard line, they've got 24 seconds. If you're the head coach of Kearney State, Dave, what are you going to try here?
Well, if I was the head coach at Kearney State College right now, I think I'd probably just sit on it. Well, I'd try another reverse myself. That seems to be their staple today. Put me on the spot, Troy.
Well, we're gonna see what Coach Claire Boroff wants to do right now. First and 10 from their own 49-yard line. I formation. That's Valine in motion. Excuse me, that's Meyer in motion. Hurt drops. Looking across the field, he's got Valine complete inside the 30-yard line to the 28.
It's out of bounds.
Stopping the clock with 17 seconds to go.
Well, Troy, they could at least come out of this with 3 points, if not the 7.
I think that's what they want. They just 28. That'd be a 45-yard field goal into a pretty brisk wind. Might be a little too far for Grauerholz. They might need 10 or 15 more yards. Just waiting for the guys to set the chains here. Hurd up over the ball, first and 10.
He's got a lot of room to work with here.
Straight drop again, quick throw, incomplete. Miscommunication there from Banks and Hurt.
It looked that way, but they only ran off 3 seconds, so they'll get another couple plays here.
Hurt threw short, Banks went deep. So down to 14 seconds to go now. Scott Meyer at the top of the screen, Banks at the bottom. This is Meyer in motion. Hurt gives to Pavich. Pavich trying to get to the 25-yard line, but he can't. And Kearney State will use their timeout. It was Mosley on the carry. He got to the 26, and Kearney State calls timeout. 7 seconds to go. Might be time for one more play.
I think Coach Boroff might have thought he could catch the Lion defense napping on that play, perhaps playing more for the pass. But Lion defense not to be fooled.
So with 7 seconds to go, the offensive unit still on the field. But here comes. You can see both squads there. And you can see at the bottom of your screen, Darren Grauerholtz putting down his tee. He's going to try and boot what looks like it's going to be about a 43-yard attempt into the wind. He's going to kick it from the left hash mark.
Never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me, Troy, how much football you can get in less than a minute.
That's right. Missouri Southern had the ball with 2 minutes to go. And that seems like about an hour ago. So Harvey will hold. Grauerholtz on to attempt a 43-yard try. 7 seconds to go. First half. High snap. Gets it down. The kick looks long enough.
Little wide.
It's no good. Off to the left. As you probably heard the crowd getting a little anxious. But Grauerholtz misses it wide left. And there's 1 second to go.
Looks good there for a while, Troy. I was hoping that crosswind might push it through the goalpost, but not to be.
So with 1 second to go, Kearney State's going to get in the extreme prevent defense. Number 11, Dan Gall, standing 50 yards away from the line of scrimmage. They just want to make sure nothing gets deep. Kearney State leads 14-3. I think we'll just see a Hail Mary here, Dave.
Almost looks like they're punting.
Kearney State's got defensive players all over the field. Straight drop from Brown. He's just going to lob it up there. Now he's going to run it. Pick up some individual rushing statistics as he goes down at the 42-yard line and the half ends.
Yeah, he might have a sore spot about those negative rushing yards he has for the season, trying to pick a few up there.
So we're at halftime of the homecoming game, 1988. Kearney State leads Missouri Southern State College 14-3. We want you to make sure and stay tuned for the exciting halftime extravaganza planned here, along with the crowning of the royalty. And we'll see you in a little bit with second half action.
Great leadership, which they need. They need today in a homecoming game that they'd like to win.
So Grote ready to kick off. He hasn't kicked one deep all day. This time he does. He's going to boot it into the end zone. He kicked with the wind that time.
Yes, he did.
I think the Kearney State was expecting another squib kick. This time Grote bangs it into the end zone. Kearney State will start from their own 20-yard line. We'll try and check the lineups again for you. I see Scott Meyer will start at slot back. Hurt the quarterback. Looks like Casper at center. McCaw and Biddicombe on the left side, and Hauser and Robinson on the right side. Riley's the tight end. That's Meyer in motion. Banks at the bottom of the screen, Valine at top. The give is up the middle to Shohan, who was dropped after a gain of a couple. Nice play there by Stonebarger. Got help from Mike King, the defensive tackle.
Stonebarger showing once again that he is the keystone of that defense for the Lions.
Defensively for Missouri Southern, Galloway, Durbin, I don't see Durbin out there. He went out earlier with an injury. Looks like he's been replaced by 42 Jeff Winters, along with Mike King and Matt Elledge up front. They jump around a lot. It's Missouri Southern with 10 players within 5 yards of the ball. As Hurt drops, got pressure from the backside, gets the ball off, incomplete. Pass intended for Don Lee. Nice coverage over there on the far side by James Holdman. That'll bring up a 3rd and long situation. Kearney State really does not like these 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 10s. They're just not built for that, Dave.
No, they're not. They're a run right at you sort of team. They like to grind it out for 4 or 5 yards each shot, and hopefully come up with those 3rd and 2s where they have more of an option.
Mosley and Shohan split backs this time on the 3rd and 9. Missouri Southern again. Now they switch. Right as the ball is snapped, Hurt rolls to his left. He looks, completes to Riley, but Riley's going to be short of the first down.
Not enough as they bring the ball up to about the 27-yard line. Missouri State coming out a little bit fired up here in the second half, playing some good fundamental defense.
That's right, linebacker Rob Davies along with free safety Jason Wright made sure Riley didn't get that first down. I don't really like the call on 3rd and 9. You run your tight end 5 yards across the middle.
You have to wonder, Troy, if he was the primary receiver.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dave. Pretty good snap to Banks, who gets off a floater, taking it to the 42-yard line. Gaddis is hit immediately, tries to juke his way. Riley had an open shot at Gaddis. It just kind of whiffed him.
Yeah.
But Gaddis really couldn't go anywhere else.
I'm rather surprised Gaddis elected to take a...
That's right. I'm surprised I didn't see a fair catch. So Kearney can't move on their first offensive possession the first half. Now Missouri Southern gets their shot, trailing 14-3. Just underway here, 13:30 to go in the 3rd period. Brown drops, fires into the flat, overshoots his intended receiver. Intended for Donnelly Hurd. Let's look at Missouri Southern. It all starts with number 7, Alan Brown, the quarterback. I see Probst, Wicker, Clark, Glenn, and Reynolds again up front.
And of course, once again, Browning's in there, number 12.
That's right, Browning and Hurd are the wide receivers.
Brown kind of cut into the Jerry Rogers sort of mold.
That's number 3, Heath Hessel, listed as a tailback, but he's played in the slot a lot. They set up a screen, complete, 1 missed tackle. Stone goes out of bounds. 87, Todd Gransky had a bead on him, but he just missed him.
For a moment there, it looked like Kearney State was going to stop that play before it got started, but as you say, Gransky missed the tackle coming across, and number 11, Jerome Stone, able to turn it upfield for a nice little gain.
Apparently he stepped out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So that's where Missouri Southern will come up with their 3rd and 5 play.
You know, Troy, the way these defenses have come out, you almost wonder if they could set the tone for a defensive battle here in the second half.
That's right. Stacy Garney and Browning at the top of the screen. Hessel in motion. Ball goes out to Hessel again. We'll see what he can do by himself. Not a lot. He gets out across the 50-yard line where Gransky, Lyons, White, and Dave Collin were all there to shut him down.
It appears Kearney State is coming out this second half with a lot better pursuit out to the flats.
We're seeing 4 and 5 and 6 Lopers around the ball each time.
Where before in the first half you saw Stone or number 3, Heath Hensel, having a little bit of running room.
Big 4th and 2 play here for Missouri Southern. Just inside the 50-yard line. 4th and 2.
Interesting call here, Troy.
Full house backfield for Missouri Southern. To give, quarterback keeps it, and he struggles, and I think he got the first down.
Kearney State had that play plugged up, but Brown just sort of made the play happen for him.
Exactly right. The fake was to Wofford, number 21, and Brown just rolled out, made one man miss, and stretched out. It looks like he's got the first down from here. And he does. They're not even going to measure. First down, Missouri Southern. So Southern capitalizes on that 4th and 2 play. They get 4 new downs at the Kearney State 47-yard line. Osborne is the setback, and that's Helsel in motion.
Missouri Southern not holding anything back this second half.
Brown's going to run again. He slides in safe. Acker and Gransky made some pursuit.
You're not alluding to the World Series tonight, are you, Troy?
That's right, World Series. Well, it would have been last night.
Oh, I think it's tonight.
Because, it's Sunday night now.
Oh, absolutely.
Second and 5. Brown got 5 yards on that play.
Caught me on a technicality.
So the Kearney State defensive secondary doing a nice job covering the Lion receivers. But Brown finding some running room. He got 5 yards that time.
Have we decided what we're going to call this formation here, Troy?
I don't know. Kind of a 3-stacker deal. Pass to the backup quarterback. He wants to throw it again. And it's picked off by Conrad. I was wondering when we're going to see that play. Conrad fumbles the ball. The ball is loose and recovered by Missouri Southern. And a flag goes down. Penalty flag goes down, but it is Missouri Southern's ball. The flag went down after the fumble recovery.
Rusty Conrad with his eyes to the north, running north and south, and didn't see the receiver coming back along the near sideline and stripped him of the ball.
I believe it was Hurd. Came from the backside and just stripped the ball from Conrad. The ball recovered by Missouri Southern Lions. The play went from Alan Brown to number 9, Rod Smith, who was a backup quarterback. Smith chucked the ball downfield where it was picked off by Conrad. Conrad trying to bring the ball back. He fumbled it. Now we'll see what the play is going to be. Here's a call. The Lions retain possession, but they're going to have it at the 37-yard line. The referee has made no indication what the call is.
I'm a bit confused here myself, Troy. The ball was intercepted back around the 5-yard line. It was brought back by Conrad and stripped at about the 15.
Looks like it was a 15-yard penalty on Missouri Southern, so it'll be 1st and 25. The Lions will have to go to the 12-yard line to get a first down. So apparently after the fumble recovery, they committed a personal foul penalty of 15 yards. Brown going deep, looking across the middle, incomplete. That might have been offensive interference. We're not going to get a call on it. But number 12, Dennis Browning, made sure Rusty Conrad didn't get another interception. So the penalty moves Missouri Southern back, but they retain possession. I'll bring up 2nd and 25. That time, Brown wanted it all, intended for Browning.
Missouri State has had a little bit of trouble with penalties this year. Last game, they had 184 yards in penalties called against them. That's just 7 yards short of their school record.
That's just amazing, having 184 yards of penalties.
Makes for a long game.
That's right, Brown. This time goes across the middle, complete to Wofford. Wofford gets inside the 20-yard line, but some tough running there from William Wofford.
That's 230 pounds of running back there, Troy, and not easy to bring down.
Russell and Gall brought him down. But a nice gain for Wofford. It brings up 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7 now from the 19-yard line.
Missouri State has found success across the middle with those short 5-yard patterns.
2-step drop. Looking across the middle, he had a man intended for Dennis Browning, but Alan Brown just overshot him.
One of the few times you'll see Brown overshoot a receiver when he's got time like that.
Browning just ran a simple slant pattern, and Brown just missed him. Brings on a field goal attempt on the 4th and 7 situation. This is Grote on to attempt the field goal. The wind is behind him. It's going to be set down at the 26-yard line, 36-yard attempt. He just gets it inside the right upright. 3 points for Missouri Southern. That makes the score with 10:24 to go, 3rd quarter, 14-6.
Well, Grote, we certainly knew had the leg for that kick, as evidenced on his opening kickoff. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank the Palm Garden Lounge, Chardell Norte Restaurant, Misco Sporting Goods, Nick's Euros, and Platte Valley State Bank and Trust for all their help in bringing you this KSC football game.
So Missouri Southern gets on the board quickly in the third quarter. They now trail by 8, 14-6. Here's Grote again to kick off. Valine and Banks both deep. They really don't know if they're going to get a chance here or not. We've seen 2 squib kicks and 1 kick into the end zone.
Well, I'm sure both Valine and Banks back there are anxious to get a chance, and I think they'll get one here.
They will. Banks will take it at his own goal line. Doug Banks gets out almost to the 25-yard line. A good play there. Defensive play made there by number 79, Chuck Dake, 215-pound freshman. So that's where Kearney State will start with 10:17 to go. Third period, they lead 14-6. And really is a key game for the Lopers regarding the rest of their season.
Yes, it is. As you mentioned earlier, the linebacker for Kearney State, Todd Suey, as he said, it could be the difference between having a successful winning season and going down the tubes.
First down play there, pretty successful for Kearney State.
Trevor Pavich bangs right up there, takes a couple players with him as he carries the ball up to about the 28, 29-yard line.
He got 4 yards, bring up a 2nd and 6. Here comes Valine in with the play.
This game has been brought to you in part by the Fireside Inn, Moley's Motor Works, Frontier Liquor, Bogart's Supermart, Copperfields, and LJ's Home and Appliance Center. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank these businesses for their support.
I formation, Loper, 2nd and 6 yards to go. Now they switch in to a pro set. Pavich and Shohan. Crossbuck, give to Pavich. He dances around. Gets out close to the 33-yard line.
A little bit different style of running there for Pavich that time. Normally he just runs straight ahead, but he danced and flirted his way up there to about the 32.
Picks up 4 more. Brings up 3rd and 2 now as the clock continues to run.
This is where Kearney State likes to be.
That's right. They love the third and short yardage. Scott Meyer now at the bottom of the screen. I formation, 3rd and 2. Inside 9 minutes to play, third quarter. 14-6. Kearney State leads. Paul Riley this time goes in motion. Pitch to Pavich, looking for the first down. He's tripped up, and he falls forward, but he's going to be short. Stormbarger made a nice play from his inside linebacker position. He blitzed through and tripped Pavich up.
Yes, he did. He certainly makes a difference in this line defense.
Pavich tried to keep his feet and spin for that first down, but he couldn't get it. So Kearney again is stopped, and the Lions have got to be getting some momentum out of this. 3 downs enough for Kearney.
I thought perhaps they're on 3rd and 2, Troy. They might just give it to the big back Shohan, but they elected instead to pitch around right.
Banks here to punt again. The snap bounces back to Banks, but he handles it pretty cleanly. And gets a Missouri Southern bounce all the way back to the Kearney State 47-yard line. So Missouri Southern will have excellent field position to work with when they take over with 8:07 to go, third quarter.
Banks handled that snap just like it was practiced that way.
Just looked like he was a shortstop there.
Fielded cleanly, but maybe the snap shook him up a bit on the punt. Not a typical Banks punt.
We've seen some bad punt snaps for Kearney State throughout the year. Halesville in motion. 1st and 10. Brown rolls. Ball's knocked down. Incomplete. Gransky again. That's his 2nd deflection today.
I was going to say it's got to be 2 or 3.
So Gransky doing a nice job. The play was intended for Stone. And Stone had some running room if he could have caught the ball.
Gransky at 6'3" with that arm length and jumping ability makes an imposing figure to throw over.
Exactly right. Gransky doing a nice job timing and getting his hands up in time to knock the pass away. Fake reverse. Now Brown rolling to his right. He's going to run. He outruns Gransky, but he slips down. And Gransky falls on top of him at the 43-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd and about 5 yards to go.
Gransky once again had a beat on him.
That's right, Gransky's playing real well.
Yes, he is. Gransky's playing an outstanding game. Obviously playing with a lot of emotion. After every substantial play he makes, he's up and throwing his fist in the air.
Hurd and Stone at the top of the screen. We'll see what they decide to do here, 3rd and 5. Helsel in motion. He's got to be tired from going in motion all this time. Getting a lot of running in as Brown rolls. Now he's going to run it. He's got a lot of room inside the 30, down to about the 28-yard line, where Dan Gull stops him, not before Brown picks up the first down. We didn't see Brown run a whole lot the first half, Dave.
No, we haven't. And maybe that's one of the devices they're going to use against Kearney State today, knowing Kearney State has seen films that would say otherwise about Brown.
That's right. They want to. Missouri Southern wants to keep the Kearney State cornerbacks and linebackers honest.
I think you'd have to agree that wasn't designed to play.
That's exactly right. The cornerbacks are playing 15 yards to almost 20 yards off the ball, and Brown wants to keep them honest. Straight drop again from Brown. A lot of time in the pocket. Pass overthrown, intended for Hurd on a crossing pattern. And Brown's been throwing a little bit high.
Yes, he has, particularly the second half.
How to bring up 2nd and 10 now. It was 6:44 to go, 3rd quarter.
On that last play, Troy, it looked like Brown wanted to go to Browning all the way, and then when saw Browning was tightly covered, he looked elsewhere.
2nd 10 from the 28-yard line. Again, just a 3-step drop. It's got a man open, and it's dropped. Simply dropped out in the flat by Jerome Stone. Russell out there on the coverage.
Looked like a case there, Troy, of wanting to run with the ball before you got it.
That's right. Stone simply dropped that. So that brings up a big 3rd and 10 play. Band trying to get in it now. Keep the crowd interested on this overcast Saturday.
Well, after those announcements of the homecoming activity awards at halftime, I think the crowd has pepped up just a bit.
That's right. Helsel in motion. Straight drop again. Here's Brown looking, going into the end zone. Complete. We'll see if the touchdown. They're going to call that a touchdown. The pass was caught by Dennis Browning. They're going to say he had enough. They're going to say he had possession when he hit the ground.
Troy, I have to say, I am shocked at that play. How a referee can call a man to have possession in that particular case is beyond me.
That is a very questionable call here with 6:35 to go, 3rd quarter. Remember that. Browning seemed to have possession, but he hit the ground and the ball squirted free. One thing in the official's favor, he never hesitated one bit. He came right in and signaled touchdown right away. So 6 points go up on the board for Missouri Southern. We'll see if they go for 2 here. It's 14-12 right now. And I think Missouri Southern will go for 2 and try for the tie.
I'll tell you, Troy, yes, he was adamant in his call, but
that's right.
I think both you and I watched the play closely, and I don't think either one of us agreed that call was correct.
The call was unsportsmanlike conduct against Kearney State. That flag came in. The flag came in after the play, and it will be enforced on the kickoff. 14-12. I think Missouri Southern will go for 2 here, and they do, as Smith and Browning, who caught the touchdown, are at the bottom of the screen. Brown drops. He's rolling. Gransky's putting some pressure on him. He gets away. He can't find anybody to throw to. Now he does. Intended for Hurd, but he can't get a hold of it. The 2-point conversion failed. And Gransky and Brown exchanged some words.
Once again. Kearney State and the Lions picking up where they left off in the first half.
That's right. Alan Brown has got to know Todd Gransky quite well here during today's game. And that time was no exception as Gransky put nice pressure onto him. They see the Kearney State return team hoping they get a chance. I'm sure Doug Banks and Travis Valine want a chance to return a punt to try and change the flow of momentum here Missouri Southern has come out with 9 straight points and held the Lopers both times.
Yes, they have. This third quarter so far has belonged to the Lions as they've scored 3 points and a touchdown.
The Lopers really need the ball back, and they really need to grind out some first downs.
Absolutely.
The unsportsmanlike conduct penalty moves the ball to the 50-yard line. So it'll be another chip shot for Grote. You might see an onside kick here. You don't got a whole lot to lose when you kick from the 50-yard line. If you try an onside kick and don't recover it, Kearney State's still going to start.
That's right.
How about their 35-yard line? And if you boot it into the end zone, Kearney State's going to start at the 20.
Difference of 15 yards.
That's right. So we'll see what Grote wants to do here. (14-12) now. 6:35 to go.
Second onside.
He's just going to bloop it up in the air. Fair catch called for and made by Jeff Essman. Excuse me, that's Riley over there. Riley catches at the 12-yard line. So Kearney State will take over. 1st and 10.
Well, in any case, they put Kearney State down in somewhat of a hole here.
That's right. I think that's probably the best thing they could do if you're a Missouri Southern fan. Because if you haul off and whack it, Kearney State's going to get it at the 20. And if you squib it, they might get it at the 30. Now, Kearney State 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. Shuffle their defense again. Hurt might be audibling. Pitches to Mosley. Mosley trying to get... He's out across the 15-yard line. Missouri Southern really trying to strip the ball away from Mosley.
Yes, they are. A lot of arm tackling on that play, but Mosley kept his feet churning and churned forward to the 16-yard line.
Pick up a 4 on the play. It's really a good stat for Kearney State. Kearney State has only lost 1 fumble this year. Mosley lost a fumble earlier this season.
That's an amazing statistic.
But Shohan, Pavich, Aerosmith, none of them have lost a fumble so far this year. Give on a delayed draw to Mosley. Mosley's got some run room, makes a nice cut, gets out across the 30-yard line. Flag comes down.
Should be a face mask.
I think you're right.
That ought to tack on at least 5 yards, if not 15.
Crowd trying to get into it, get some wave action here. And homecoming Saturday at Kearney State College. There you see the call against Missouri Southern. They'll mark out 5 yards. The 5-yard face mask variety. I don't really understand that. 5-yard face mask. He only broke his neck a little bit. 5 yards and an automatic first down, so Kearney State has a 1st and 10 just outside their own 35-yard line. Valine at the top of the screen, Banks at the bottom, I formation. Kearney State leads by 2 points. 5:35 and counting to go, 3rd period. I'm Troy Berryman along with Dave Hardman, bringing you all of today's action. Valine goes in motion, and Mosley gets the call again. He almost breaks it, but he's tripped up. Tripped up there by James Holdman.
Pavich just 1 step away from possibly breaking that one. He had nothing but green. I'm sorry, Mosley on that play.
They're hard to tell apart, Mosley and Pavich, both little guys with lots of speed. Mosley got 8 yards. Brings up a 2nd and 2 situation. Kearney State, I formation again, 2 tight ends. See what they decide to do. Missouri Southern fakes another blitz. Here they come. Hurt with a man in his face. Pass is incomplete.
He had Banks on the right, on the far sideline, breaking away from his coverage. Number 4, James Holdman. But
that time, Matt Ellis, number 33, defensive end, had great pressure on Hurt. Hurt was forced to throw the ball a little bit before he wanted to.
Yes, Hurt couldn't quite get the ball to him.
3rd and 2 now for Kearney State. And a big play right here. They've gone 3 downs and out. Their past 2 possessions. They really need to grind out some first downs and let that defense rest. Valine in motion. They give us to Mosley, looking for the first down marker. Second effort may have gotten it for him. It's going to come all the way down to the spot. It looks from here like he's got it.
If not, Troy, do you think they'll go for it?
I don't know what Coach Boroff would do here, 4th and short. They're going to bring the chains in. We'll see if we can see it from here with all the people standing around. We can't even see the ball.
I think it would be a big confidence boost to this offense if Coach Boroff elected to go for it and made it. Of course, the negative is also true here. If they fail to make it,
I think he's got it. I think he's got it. The ball is sitting with its nose right on the 46-yard line. There you see the measurement come in. We can't see because of the referee. He's going to get right down there and make sure it's a first down. Kearney State, behind the running of Chuck Mosley, gets 2 yards and enough for a first down to keep the drive alive.
And an important first down it is, Troy.
Exactly
keeping
right.
this drive alive, keeping their defense off the field, and playing ball control against this Missouri Southern State team. Well, that's a mouthful. Missouri State Southern College.
Feline goes in motion. Play action fake. Hurt now rolls to his left, looking across the middle. He's got a man in his face. Pass intended for Banks, but big pressure put on. That time by number 45, Rob Davies, along with defensive tackle Brian Down.
Davies, another one of the defensive leaders for the Lions.
Yes, Davies and Stonebarger really keep that offensive unit up and are the stalwarts on that stingy Southern defense. 2nd and 10 now. Hurt really just wanted to get that one away. He overthrew everybody to make sure he didn't get picked off because the Lopers really don't need a turnover right now. Six men on the line of scrimmage for Southern.
Southern showing a lot of defensive.
Here they come with a blitz from the backside. Again, the ball's overthrown by Hurt. I think this defense is starting to rattle him a little bit.
I believe you're right, Troy. He had Banks open there. Normally, Hurt wouldn't have missed a man open like that, but indeed Hurt did, and bringing the ball back for a 3rd and 10 situation.
That time, Jason Wright, one of the safeties, came up from his position and put on some pressure from the backside. Hurt got the ball away, but simply overthrew his man.
The Lions defense befuddling Hurt and the Kearney State offense a bit.
I like that, befuddling.
Well, thank you, Troy.
3rd and 10, Kearney State. Familiar I formation. Here goes Feline to the top of the screen. Play action fake for Hurt. Looking across the middle. Intended for Riley. Complete. Breaks a tackle. Paul Riley's got an alley. Nice block over there by Feline. It springs Riley for a touchdown. Kearney State. No flag. A great effort there by Riley.
What a play.
And a great block from Travis Feline that got it into the end zone.
One great block and a lot of power on the part of Riley. He broke one tackle in midfield, broke down the sideline, showed some deceptive speed, and then broke away from another tackler that tried to take him up around the shoulders. Riley's just a little bit too strong for a defensive back to be taking him there.
The play goes 54 yards from Hurt to Riley.
That's Riley's 2nd touchdown pass of the day, isn't
That's
it?
right, and you got to give Feline at least a star or an asterisk by that touchdown because he really sprung Riley for the final 30 yards of that run.
Well, you know where a player like Feline is rewarded is in the film sessions a couple days later.
That's right.
The players really notice those sort of things, and so do the coaches.
Garholtz puts the extra point through, and with 3:45 to go, 3rd quarter, Kearney State now leads 21-12.
And that is a very big touchdown for Kearney State, as the Lions of Missouri Southern were starting to come back and starting to take control of this game a bit, making it a very, very close game. And Kearney State started at their own 15, less than that actually. No, it was about their 13-yard line and drove the length of the field for the touchdown.
That's absolutely
big
right.
play.
That's exactly what the Kearney State offense needed. A little ball control, and a big play that sprung for 7 points. That kept the defense off the field and lifted the spirits, I think, a little bit of the entire coaching staff.
Absolutely.
They get a good shot of Darren Grauerholtz, place kicker for Kearney State. Just a freshman, 6'2", 205-pounder. Also a backup tight end, because he's a pretty big kid, 205-pounder from Kensington, Kansas.
Well, it sounds like we'll be seeing a lot of Grauerholtz in the years to come.
Ball taken by number 1, Stacy Garney, and he gets out close to the 25-yard line.
Well, a short kick, but a tenacious defense coming down to tackle him.
So Allen Brown, now his team trails by 9 points, trying to get that potent offense back into gear.
It's just amazing sometimes, Troy, the difference you see in the play. Just a kickoff return, and I imagine we'll see it in this series here if Missouri Southern doesn't rise to the occasion. Just what a score like that can do to the momentum and emotion of a team.
Helsel in motion. Give on the reverse to Stone. Stone stacked up. And exactly what you're saying there, Dave. That's just pure momentum right there. That time, Kurt Metzger made an excellent play, sniffed out the reverse to Stone right away, and dropped Stone for a 2-yard loss.
And the first place you see that momentum take place is in the line. And obviously, the defensive line for Kearney took that play. Made it happen.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 12 from the 24-yard line. Kearney State defense has played pretty well, considering that Brown has thrown for over 280 yards per contest. Again, they faked the same play. Here's Gransky again. Can't drop him that time. Brown is being chased, and he goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
Boy, you got to give Troy. You got to give Brown a lot of credit there. He slipped a couple tackles, and he's done that all game. He's turned a lot of potential losses, into gains.
Gransky had a chance. He slipped down. Bobby Joe Russell made a dive and just missed him, and Brown picked up 4 yards to bring up 3rd and 6. Hurd goes to the top of the screen along with Jerome Stone, who's in the slot, on a big 3rd and 6 play. Straight drop. He's looking to Hurd. He's got plenty of time to throw it. Now it breaks down a little bit, and Gransky finally gets him. Todd Gransky's been chasing Allen Brown all day.
Well, you got to feel for Todd Gransky there. Like you say, he has been chasing and just coming up inches short every time, and that time he broke away from his blocker and got him.
And that's just nice coverage by the Kearney State secondary. Brown had a lot of time in the pocket. Finally, the protection broke down, and Gransky was able to sneak back there and drop Brown for a 10-yard loss. Big play from the Kearney State defense. Punting situation now. Here's Larimore. Line drive kick taken by Banks. Banks trying the left side. Gets a good kick out block and gets that up close to the 50-yard line.
Pretty good coverage that time by the Lions.
That was nice coverage. Number 33, Matt Elridge, along with number 2. Number 2, he's not in the program today, but he's on the field because we can see him.
A little bit of deception on the part of the Lions. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., KSTV News Magazine will inform you on the latest happenings in the Kearney community and on the campus. That's KSTV News Magazine every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
1st and 10 Lopers at their own 49-yard line. Did a nice job of shutting down the Lions' passing attack that time. Now with 1:59 to go, they've got the ball back in pretty good field position. Give to Meyer on a reverse. He cuts up inside the block, still on his feet across the 35-yard line. A nice kick-out block there. I couldn't see who, but he should get credit for it.
Well, Troy, I'm sure the Lions made some adjustments at halftime on defense, but they haven't adjusted correctly for that reverse yet.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times now. Meyer did a nice job reading the block.
Yes, he did.
Cut it back inside and got inside the 35-yard line to pick up another Kearney State first down. Kearney State trying to boost their record to 3-4 and get back to 2-2 here in the CSIC. We got moving on the line of scrimmage.
Who's it going to be on, Troy?
It looked like Riley moved a little early. That's what happened. Paul Riley moved a little soon. Lopers will be penalized 5 yards. Loper's doing a real nice job controlling the clock right now. And that reverse play has worked all game.
Yes, it has. As I said in the first half, Troy, I can't remember a reverse in this game for Kearney State that hasn't gotten at least 5 yards, and that one itself picked up 15.
1st and 15 for Kearney State. Valine goes in motion. Missouri Southern taking another blitz. They bring Stonebarger, but Pavich stays on his feet. where he's wrapped up by Davies and Stonebarger. He got about 3 to the 38-yard line.
That was Stonebarger putting a brick wall stop on Trevor Pavich.
We'd like to congratulate Tim Anderson and Jill Peters, the homecoming king and queen that were crowned at halftime today. We'd like to say congratulations to them and to everybody who participated in this year's homecoming festivities. Loper's now faced with a 2nd and 14. Trying to add to their 9-point lead. They lead 21-12. Hurt rolls, now throws all the way back across the field to Riley, setting up a screen. Riley's having a big day, and he almost breaks that one for another TD.
Yes, he is.
He's dragged down by James Holdman, 6 foot, 175-pound freshman. But Riley's got to have some big receiving yards.
That play may have been set up throughout the game, as Hurt has rolled out from time to time in that particular play, and that's the first time they reversed it. Thrown back across the grain.
Nicely set up play there from Kearney State. Had a lot of guys out front to help Riley, springing for that big gain. 1st and 10 from the Missouri Southern 19-yard line. Hurt drops, completes the pass to Banks. Banks makes a nice move and gets into the end zone. Touchdown. Banks, a great spin move. Just a really pretty move there by Doug Banks, who scoots 19 yards for the Lopers' 4th touchdown.
Very nice. Left the defensive player grasping turf.
And a pretty nice throw from Hurt. Hurt just a little simple 5-yard out pattern, but Banks really made the play when he spun, made the defensive back miss, and scooted in the end zone. It's 27-12 with Garholtz's extra point coming up.
And it's good.
Garholtz drills it. So with 14 seconds to go, 3rd quarter, the score now 28-12. Now the Lopers are back in control and look to be dominating the game once again.
Yes, they are, Troy. Starting to exert themselves after a sluggish start in the 2nd quarter or 3rd quarter here. Coming on strong now with only 14 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. KSTV will rebroadcast this game between Kearney and Missouri Southern State College this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on cable channel 25.
KSTV is proud to bring you all of the Kearney State football games. We started this last year, the 1987 season. We'll continue to improve in our broadcasting of these games. Stay tuned. Throughout the year to KSTV, we'll have some more volleyball games. A lot of men's and women's basketball coming up this winter, too, all on KSTV. High kick, confusion. Finally taken by Elridge, the defensive end, who makes a pretty nice return. Runs all the way across the field and is dumped out of bounds by Scott Meyer at the 23-yard line.
For the confusion they had, Troy, you're right. He did make a pretty good return out of that.
Ball just really hung up in the air. And
well, you know, a lot of times what will happen is when you have that sort of confusion down in the middle of the field, the defense will pinch in thinking they have the man, and the containment will break down, and sometimes, you know, they'll break them around end.
That's right. This ought to be the last play of the 3rd quarter. We've got 6 seconds to go. Missouri Southern really needs some points on the board here early in the 4th quarter if they want to have any chance to win this game in the later stages. Brown having some trouble. Knocked out of bounds by Mike White as the 3rd quarter ends. Flag down. We'll have to see what that's all about. White, nice pursuit to get over there to knock Brown out of bounds. He picked up about 2 yards is all.
The referee indicates a holding call. There's the official call, and yes, it is. It's holding against the Lions.
Talking it over with Kevin Lyons, their number 5, you see. Lyons seems pretty happy with the call.
As he should be, as it is holding against the Lions, and Kearney State should elect to take that.
They're going to mark it off against the Lions.
Well,
that, that should be the end of the third quarter.
Yes, it should. With no time remaining on the scoreboard, that should be the end of the quarter. But I guess they're going to run a play here, Troy.
Apparently the play can't end on an offensive penalty. So Brown will drop straight back. Fire across the middle. Complete. Big hit. Fumble on the play. It's going to be Kearney State's ball. The ball was caught by Heath Hessel. But Scott Baker will get a start on his helmet for that.
We've got some late flags.
Flags rain down from above. But Baker with a big hit. Baker makes a big hit on Hessel. The ball comes loose. Kearney State's got it. We'll see what these flags are about.
Well, you saw it yourself at home, but that I just got the image of two cars hitting head on.
You could hear that clear up here. That's the best hit I've seen all year.
That was a hit.
Big conference down on the field. Hessel, to his credit, popped right back up. Baker really put a hit on him, and Hessel got up like nothing had happened. That's going to be the end of the quarter, but we'll have to see what the flags are about.
Well, I'm sure Hessel wishes he could have held onto the ball. He sure popped up, but I think he wishes he would have popped up with the ball. That was a vicious hit.
I still haven't seen any official indication of what the flags were for.
Nor have I, Troy, and we're still waiting on the referee's decision down on the field.
Those are the kind of plays, if you're the defensive player, your mouth just waters because you see the offensive player coming across the field with his eyes glued on the ball. He can't see you coming. And you can just lay a pop on him. Those are the best kind of hits to make if you're a defensive player.
Absolutely. And they're good clean hits. There's
nothing wrong with that.
No?
But when the offensive guy can't see you coming, that's your best bet to lay a big hurting on him.
And in this case, it worked out for the best as it caused a fumble.
That's right, the big hit does cause a fumble. It will be Kearney State's ball. It's just a matter of where they're going to get it. Okay, the penalty was delay a game on Kearney. Apparently the celebration caused a delay a game. So Kearney's going to take over. 1st and 10 at the Missouri Southern 28-yard line. So the officials flagged Kearney State for celebrating that big hit from Baker. It's Valine in motion. Hurt rolls, looking for Valine, and just underthrows him.
Nice diving attempt by Valine down there on the near sideline, but couldn't come up with it.
Here you see Travis Valine, a 6'2", 175-pound sophomore from Long Island, Kansas. Also runs track here at Kearney State. Second and about 14 for the Lopers. That's Scott Meyer comes back towards you in motion. Delayed draw to Mosley. Mosley jukes and jives. A good run from Chuck Mosley as we see a flag fly in. And that's going to go on Kearney State. Nice run there by Chuck Mosley, but that play is going to come back.
Very nice run. It's unfortunate it will come back, but Mosley made some nice juking and jiving there to get his way down there to the 10-yard line.
Preliminary indication was holding on Kearney State.
While we wait, if music makes your world go round, then don't miss Rock World right here on KSTV, cable channel 25, every Sunday at 2 p.m., Tuesday at 6 p.m., and Thursday at 5 p.m. That's Rock World.
We're going to move the ball back. We'll watch him step it off here. There you see today's referee. Holding on Kearney State.
Kearney State hurting themselves right now with penalties, 2 in this series.
Going the wrong way. It's second at about a quarter mile, I think.
Might as well be.
Looks like second about 25.
Well, it's a quarter of the field anyway.
That's right. So we'll see what Kearney wants to do as they put Valine and Meyer at the bottom of the screen. Banks up top. One remaining tailback is Shohan. Now here comes Meyer. Hurt straight drop. Looking and picked off. Did he get a foot down? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
James Holdman picks that pass off and drags the foot down. Missouri Southern will take over at their own 19-yard line.
The ball overthrown, but no fault of Shohan. Scott Shohan, number 42 for Kearney State, just leveled number 25 coming in for the Missouri Southern State Lions, Eddie Gaddis, who was the former quarterback, and put him down on the turf.
Ball really seemed to float on Hurt. Didn't have the same zip on it we've seen. And Holdman did a nice job of picking it off. So 1st and 10 for Missouri Southern. Trying to get back on the board. They trail 28-12. Hessel right back into the ball game after taking that big hit. Straight drop, pass incomplete, intended for Dennis Browning.
Pretty good coverage over there by number 98 for Kearney State. Dave Cullen, linebacker, 6'4", 207 pounds, a freshman out of Omaha Gross.
Collin got the starting nod today, just a freshman. Started in place of Troy Schubert today. Has done a pretty fine job, too. Also into the game, Greg Ash at the other quarterback spot.
And here comes the triplet formation again, out to the near side line.
Can't see it on the bottom of your screen. Brown rolls, jumps over Bauer, and is dragged down from behind by Jeff Essman. Essman got about Brown got about a yard. Got to bring up third and long again. 3rd and about 9. 3 brand new linebackers in there. Greg Ash, Bobby Joe Russell, and Dave Collin. 3 youngsters. In fact, they're all freshmen. See that at the left top of your screen, that 3 wide receiver set, they've been doing that a lot. Stone was in motion. Brown looking deep across the middle, picked off. Rusty Conrad again.
3rd interception of the day, that one by number 13 for Kearney State. Rusty Conrad, that's his second.
You notice Conrad didn't run with the ball that time.
No, not that time.
The last one he picked off, he fumbled right back to Missouri Southern.
Actually, if I may correct myself, I believe that's the 4th interception of the day, 2 by Rusty Conrad.
So Conrad picks it off, and the Lopers will start at the Southern 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Meyer and Valine at the bottom of the screen. Scott Meyer getting quite a bit of play today. He caught the first Loper touchdown pass, and that's him going away from you in motion. Hurt rolls to his right, fires, complete to Valine, who tries to get the first down. He's awfully close.
Heady play by Valine. Not only did he have to hang on to the ball in heavy traffic, but lunged forward for the first down.
He's going to be short, but it brings up 2nd and short yardage to go. 13-12 to go in the ball game. The task doesn't get any easier next week for Kearney State as they take on the Emporia State team, one of the finest teams in the NAIA Division I ratings.
And that game won't be here at Foster Field.
Call is illegal procedure on Kearney State. So those are the kind of penalties that Coach Barf really hates. Your team is faced with a 2nd and 1, which is where it likes to be. And then they commit a penalty like that, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 6. And that's really a big penalty to go from 2nd and 1 to 2nd and 6.
Absolutely, Troy. That might be one of the strategies the Lions are employing right now in jumbling that defense so much, that mass movement that you see.
Brad Aerosmith in the ball game at the fullback spot. Pitches to Mosley, trying the right side. He's shut down pretty well by the Lion defense.
Whole stack of them out there to meet Mosley as he came around the right end.
Headed by number 58, Mike King, defensive tackle. The defensive front from Missouri Southern, they're young and they're just inconsistent. One series they'll play really tough, and the next series the Kearney State offensive line can just push them around.
Trademark of a youthful football player.
3rd and 3. As the clock continues to tick, it's Kearney State's friend right now. Movement again. I believe that's going to be on Kearney State again. 78, Wade Robinson may be the culprit this time. There it is. Robinson's going to come out. And to replace him, I believe, is number 71, Paul Mundill, 6'4", 259-pound junior from Lee. So now it's 3rd and 8.
Mosley comes out of the game.
Banks at the top of the screen. Meyer and Valine are at the bottom. Aerosmith is the only setback. There goes Meyer in motion. We've seen this formation a dozen times. Hurt, looking, completes the pass to Valine. First down, Kearney State. Just a really pretty play there.
Yes, it was.
Hurt's got plenty of time to throw, and his receivers are running very good routes. That time, Travis Valine, the little hook pattern, got enough yardage for the first down. It's 1st and 10 Lopers at the 20-yard line.
Valine trying to spin away as Banks did in on that touchdown pass earlier. Couldn't quite do it this time.
Kearney State could probably just about sew it up with a TD right here. They lead 28-12. We're down inside 12 minutes to play in the ballgame. Drop again by Hurt. Throws it up in the end zone. He's got a man open. Banks almost makes the catch, but not quite. Hurt barely overthrew him. Number 4, James Holdman, was beat badly on the play, and Banks was open. However, Hurt threw it a little bit long. Great effort by Banks, though.
Bit long, and Banks got turned around on the play, and that makes it a bit of a tougher catch, and just about came up with it, but couldn't hang on.
Brings up 2nd and 10 now. Sun really out right now. It's become a really, really nice day.
Yes, it has. You know, Troy, even a field goal here might just about sew it up. It'd make it. That'd put them down by, well, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And then
Hurt,
some.
naked bootleg. Now he throws it to Riley. Riley trying to break free, but he can't.
Boy, Riley's having some game, isn't he?
That's right. Mark Carr there grabbed a hold of Riley's leg and just would not let go. Riley is smelling the end zone again.
He's finding it a comfortable place today. 2 touchdowns.
There you see the Kearney State offensive foul. That's 86 Riley. As they come up to the ball, 3rd and 3. Might see Aerosmith right here. Missouri Southern dancing around, faking a blitz. Hurts is going to try and sneak it for 3 yards. We'll have to see where the mark is. He needed to get to the 10-yard line, and it looks like he got it.
Who do you suppose won the offensive the line battle there, Troy? I gave you a clue.
They're the guys dressed in blue, right?
Yeah.
The Missouri Southern Lions were just pushed 3 yards off the ball.
Absolutely.
Very, very rarely you see a quarterback sneak go for 3 yards. 1st and goal, just inside the 10-yard line. There's Banks going across the field in motion. The pitch play to Mosley, trying to get in the end zone. Chuck Mosley, 10-yard touchdown, Kearney State.
Good run. Good, solid run by Mosley. Found his hole, picked his way through it, and into the end zone.
Running behind Wade Robinson and Keith Hauser. Chuck Mosley, 10-yard touchdown, 34-12.
I'm really impressed by the way Mosley and Pavich have run today. They both run with a lot of spirit and second effort.
Here's Gar holds on to attempt the extra point. High snap. Harvey gets it down.
Make it 35-12.
Boots it through. So with 10:51 to go in the ball game, Kearney State's really taking control here. They lead now, 35-12.
Many of the fans' thoughts maybe turn into other homecoming activities later this evening. Hey, don't miss the Claire Boroff Show every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. and Thursday at 7 p.m. Coach Boroff and the KSTV staff take an in-depth look at the ins and outs of KSC football. The Claire Boroff Show, every Sunday at 4:30 and Thursday at 7.
And right after the Claire Boroff Show on KSTV, you can see Kearney State football.
Hosted by John Paluchek.
Gerholt's high kick, but short. Taken by Garney at the 8-yard line. Here comes Stacy Garney. Breaks one tackle and gets out across the 25-yard line to the 28.
Found a hole there for a bit, didn't he, Troy? When you aren't watching KSTV, tune your radio to 91 Kick FM and listen to KSTV. KSTV features area news, weather, sports, and an interesting blend of contemporary music. That's KSTV 91.3.
First and 10, Missouri Southern. Trying to get back on the board here. They trail 35-12. 10:46 to go in the ballgame. Helsel in motion. Again, that's just the naked screen out to Helsel, trying to make something happen. He dances down the sideline. He gets about 4 yards, but that's all. That play really hasn't sprung like Missouri Southern hopes it would.
Not like it had the first half. First half he was gaining 5 to 10 yards a shot, shutting it down so far this half. Boy, he really shot that ball out there to him. That was a bullet.
Brown's got a live arm. There's no doubt about that.
Live feet while you're at it.
As we see a new quarterback, which is Rod Smith. Freshman. Smith fires the ball complete. First down. Rod Smith, the new quarterback, 6'2", 170-pound freshman from Texarkana, Arkansas. Start. Smith completes his first 2 passes and gets a first down out of it. First and 10 from the Missouri 38-yard line. There he goes again, out the middle. He's got some running room. Smith doing a nice job carrying the ball. Gets inside the 40-yard line. So Rod Smith, freshman quarterback, getting a little spark in the Lion offense.
I should say, these Lions still got a little growl in them. They're not laying down.
There you see him, just a freshman, 170 pounds, doing a nice job running the offense.
Well, Missouri Southern certainly would seem to have a lot to look forward to in the near future.
A lot of freshmen and sophomores on this team.
A little bit of movement
play
there.
We'll have to see what the deal is. We can see Russ Harvey down on the field warming up. Might see him on the next series.
Well, seeing as how he was a possible projected starter for today's game, he's certainly due to see a little action, particularly with the score standing at 35-12.
He really hasn't had much of a chance either, because Hurt has played so well.
Yes.
First and 15 for Missouri Southern. Helsel in motion again. Straight drop. Smith looking. Ball is incomplete. Intended for Helsel.
That cross pattern across the middle. There again, just overthrown by Brown. Make that Rod Smith.
Second down and 15 yards to go. As we finish this one out here on homecoming, Kearney State College.
Winds continue to be pretty steadily out of the north and west. That could be affecting some of these throws that we're seeing float a little bit.
Smith, straight drop. Gransky again knocks one down.
Is he having a game or what, Troy?
Todd Grancy really playing well. You see him celebrate a little bit. Really happy with himself.
Well, he ought to be. He's deflected 3 or 4 passes today and
He's excuse me, Dave.
giving the leading conference passer Brown fits all day.
He's a 6'3", 243-pound junior from Beaver Crossing.
I think it's safe to say he's a big boy.
Now 3rd and 15 for Missouri Southern. As Smith goes back again to pass. Fires it across the middle, complete to Helsel. Helsel's got some running room. Inside the 25, the 20, and out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Out there, he's knocked out.
Pretty good coverage on him that time, Troy. The ball was just laid right in stride for number 3, Hensel. And
Mike
outran his coverage and took it down to about the 10.
Mike Arnold and Scott Baker were over there to knock him out. But Smith leading his team into the end zone now, trying to get there.
Now it gets tough, Troy. Now they run out of room.
Smith rolls to his right, looking into the end zone. Now he's going to pull it down and try and get in the end zone by himself. He stretches out, gets to the 3-yard line, and goes no farther. Rusty Conrad came up to make the stop.
Plenty of time left in this game, Troy. These Lions aren't ready to lay down. I'm sure this win here, or this game, is just as crucial to the Lions of Missouri Southern as it is to the Lopers of Kearney State.
That's right. Goal line offense now for Missouri Southern. Look just for an isolation play, and there it is. Big Bill Wofford trying to get in the end zone.
Stacked up in the middle there, led by number 2, Scott Baker. He's from Lincoln East.
We learned in some of the pregame talk that Missouri Southern's tendencies when they line up in that formation are just to hand the ball to Wofford and let him follow his fullback to the line of scrimmage, called an isolation play. And we've seen it twice so far. Once earlier in the game and once right there as we go under 8 minutes to go in the ball game.
Well, he's certainly the man to follow a fullback through. He's got the size, 230 pounds.
Carry was enough for a first down. Fumble on the play. We'll see who's got it. The give was to the fullback, and Kearney State's got the ball.
A turning point, Troy?
You betcha. There goes a flag down. That's going to go on. I'm sure it's going to go on Missouri Southern. That's just a frustration foul. Absolutely. Right there. Ball was given to the fullback who just left it on the ground. Bobby Joe Russell came up with the ball for Kearney State. He recovered it at the 1-yard line.
Well, that's got to take the wind out of Missouri Southern sails for now, anyway. Driving all the way down to the Kearney State 2-yard line and coming away empty-handed.
Talking it over with there's the unsportsmanlike conduct call, and it is on Missouri Southern. So Kearney will get out of their hole with that 15-yard penalty.
Once again, Missouri State continuing their trend of piling up the penalty yards. I don't have a statistic on it, but I'm sure it's well into the 60s.
So Kearney State will take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line, really looking to get this one over with no major injuries. We can see who the quarterback is. I believe it's Hurt. We'll have to see. Harvey. It's Harvey. He pitches to Pavich. Pavich got some room, and he's dragged down nicely. Flags fly, but a nice defensive play there by number 34, Tony Mitchell, freshman defensive back.
Yes, it was. He had one man to beat, and sure enough, he couldn't do it.
Call is holding on Kearney. So the new quarterback is Russ Harvey, but I still see Riley, Hauser, Robinson up front. along with Casper is still the center. And Biddicombe is one tackle along with McCaw. So the starting offensive line still in there. Now here comes Dennis Foss in for McCaw. Russ Harvey's new quarterback along with Shohan and Trevor Pavich. First and 20 now after that holding penalty for Kearney State. High formation, two tight ends, bangs the top of the screen. That's Valine in motion. Valine plays both slot back and split in. Harvey rolls, now throws across.
Wide open.
He's got a fumble on the play. That's going to go as a fumble.
Who's got it, yeah?
Missouri Southern's got it.
Number 35 for Missouri Southern, that's Greg Westfall, linebacker, 6 foot, 212 pounds, recovered the fumble.
That time Riley was really stuck. A good hit. I'm not sure who hit him. But Riley getting up a little slowly, a little upset with himself.
I saw Travis Valine break open downfield, and I thought the ball was going to him, and suddenly it was number 86 coming across, Paul Riley.
Nice throw from Russ Harvey, redshirt sophomore from Grand Island.
It's about the first tackle I haven't seen Paul Riley break.
That's right, Riley was really stuck there by the defensive back from Missouri Southern and coughed it up. He's over on the sideline. Maybe get the wind knocked out of him. Here's Smith, drops way back. Smith setting up a screen intended for Helsel, but he can't hold it.
And there's a flag, and that'll be on number 40. Number 40, Troy Schubert, he had a late hit, a shove on one of the Missouri Southern players, number 59 it was, and that was David Clark.
Quickly, Coach Terry Renner grabbed Schubert and will
have a few words with him.
As Dave Collin comes back in the ball game.
Just about as quickly as number 59, David Clark pointed at Schubert.
So the personal foul penalty will move Missouri Southern a little bit closer to the Kearney end zone. And now that fumble on the last possession really plays a big part. If Missouri Southern could have scored on that last possession, and now they've got the ball again threatening here.
But we haven't seen many penalties today, have we, Troy?
That's right. The game's gone pretty quickly. But the people starting to head for the exits now. Smith still in at quarterback. He rolls to his right. Looking downfield. Off the hands. Should have been caught over there. Number 46, Eric Wade, 5'9", 180-pound freshman. Went right through his hands, hit him in the chest, and bounced away. So nice throw by Smith, but Wade couldn't handle it. Brings up 2nd and 10. Garney and Browning at the top of the screen. That's Helsel in motion. Smith, 4-step drop, pass complete. I believe that's Hurd.
Gang tackled. That was Gall and Kevin Lyons over there to make the stop, along with number 55,
56,
Darren Gunn.
Gain of about 7 yards. 3rd and a short 3 here as the clock continues to run on what's turned out to be a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Yes, it certainly has.
Troy Berryman along with Dave Hardman and our cameraman Doug Greenwald as Missouri Southern takes a timeout. We'd also like to thank our technical director Brian Vodnall, who has helped us bring you today's Kearney State Missouri Southern State ball game.
In no small way. You are watching KSTV, cable channel 25 in Kearney, Nebraska. This broadcast is produced by students in the broadcasting department at Kearney State College.
There you can look at the defensive team that Kearney State has. See 55 Darren Gunn and some of the other players. which Kearney State dresses quite a few for their home games. So Missouri Southern takes that time out to get a little more regrouped to see what they exactly want to do on this 3rd and 3 situation.
Number 87, Todd Gransky, ensuing the crowd to get into the game a little bit.
Okay, here's Smith now, 3rd and 3. He almost falls down. Now he's going to run for it, I believe.
Fumble.
Ball's on the ground, and Kearney State's got it, I think. No, I'm sorry.
Right into the hands of a Lion.
And you could see that coming. Smith was really carrying the ball very loosely, and 44 Todd Yonke came from the backside and stripped it. Let's see who recovered it. I believe it was 89 Donnelly Hurd. So Missouri Southern, and the ball rolled forward enough for a 1st down. So it's 1st and goal from the 9-yard line.
The quarterback, Smith, I'd have to say is just a little bit more slippery than Brown.
Exactly right. He may not throw it quite as well, but Smith can really run.
Yes, he can.
3-step drop, lobs it into the end zone. Complete touchdown.
Yeah, he threw it well enough there, Troy.
That's right. That's all the better you need. If you get it to your own guy, it's good enough. That's Heath Helsel, number 3, with a touchdown reception.
This game not over yet.
So it's 35-18. We'll see what Missouri Southern wants to do with the point after. Just a simple 2-step drop. Smith cocked his arm, threw it up in the air. Helsel made a nice grab. And just like that, 6 more points for Missouri Southern. Looks like we'll go for 2 here. 35-18, 5:42 to go in the ball game. Smith drops. Can't find anybody. Gransky's got some more pressure on him. Now he throws it in the end zone. It's picked off. Now that's a live ball. It's picked up by Gall, who just pretty much ran around in the back of the end zone.
Tried to get out of there, but every time he tried to turn upfield, there was a Lion waiting for him.
Now that's a new rule this year. If Gall would have picked that off and gone all the way back, that would have been 2 points for Kearney State.
That's right.
But he didn't get out of the end zone, and the 2-point conversion fails. It's still 35-18. I kind of like that rule, though.
I do,
that
too.
2-point conversion rule.
Makes it a little bit more competitive.
35-18 with 5:42 to go in the ball game. As we get ready, as Kearney State gets ready to receive the kick. Kearney State with 9 men up near the ball.
You don't suppose they're expecting an onside kick,
I
do
think
you,
they are. There you see all the people from Kearney State expecting that onside kick from kicker Rich Grote. Good work there by cameraman Doug Greenwald.
Chuck Mosley, the lone man back to receive the kick. I don't think he'll touch it.
Southern's really got that far side loaded up. And here goes the rest of them. There's the kick. Takes a big bounce. That is covered nicely by Gall. Dan Gall made the recovery. So Kearney State will start off on the Missouri Southern 46-yard line.
That was a nice try by Missouri Southern, but just couldn't get the job done.
Russ Harvey now will continue to be the quarterback. Some new receivers in there. Jeff Power, 5'11", 168-pound junior at the bottom of the screen. That's him in motion. They give this to Aerosmith, who's dropped quickly.
And that, Troy, is a rarity to see one of our fullbacks, Aerosmith or Shohan, dropped for a loss.
That's Rashid Lowe, 6'2", 205-pound freshman linebacker, who made his presence felt right there. Tackled Aerosmith for a 2-yard loss. That brings up 2nd and 12. There's a new tailback into the ball game also. Scott Meyer at the bottom of the screen. Now he goes in motion. The pitch. He struggles trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, but he can't. That's Greg Schmitz, 5'11", 182-pound sophomore from Clarkson. He can't get back to the line of scrimmage. He loses another 2 yards. So it's 3rd and 14, and the Lopers are going the wrong way.
Absolutely. They could use a couple first downs here to kind of grind out the clock.
We've got 4:38 to go and counting. As Russ Harvey tries to get his team some more yardage here. He rolls to his right. He's going to run it now. Gets to the 45-yard line. And they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Now to bring up a 4th and about 4. The Lopers will kick it away. We'll see if Missouri Southern tries to go for the all-out block. It doesn't look like they will. Addy Gaddis is the man back deep to return. Another bad snap. Banks really drills a nice kick, but he gets it into the end zone. And will come out to the 20-yard line, where Missouri Southern will start.
You almost wish Banks would just hang that punt up high, put her down in the 10 to 15-yard range, yard line range, not kick.
So look, it looks like the defensive secondary for Kearney. I see Conrad, Lyons, Gall, and Baker, along with Kovar and Collin and Bobby Joe Russell, the linebackers. See Smith drop back. Looks out into the flat, complete to Wofford. Wofford chased by Russell and does a nice job. Scott Baker came up to try and make the tackle, and Wofford just knocked him over.
That's the case, Troy, of the offensive running back making the initial hit.
Baker does get credit for the tackle, but he won't like seeing that on the film. You don't like making tackles when you're on your back. Smith rolls, looking across the middle. Picked out, he redeems himself. Scott Baker, he's got convoy. He's to the 20-yard line and out of bounds.
Number 6 on the day, I believe, in interceptions for Kearney State.
I believe that you're right. Scott Baker, so the defensive secondary, really, people were wondering if the secondary could shut down this high-powered Missouri Southern passing attack, and the secondary really has done a good job.
Yes, they have. That question's been answered emphatically. They put 18 points on the board, but overall, the passing game has been shut down.
Another tailback into the ballgame. I believe this is Omar Rogers, sophomore from Shadron. That's power in motion. Option play. Pitch to Rogers. Rogers tight ropes down the sideline. He can't get in the end zone. Omar Rogers upset with himself. He wanted to get in.
Nice run.
Really nice play. Really well executed by Russ Harvey.
Yes, it was. He waited till that last second, pitched the ball out as a perfect pitch, and Rogers took it down the sideline.
Rogers, just a freshman from Shadron. He got 13 yards down to the 1-yard line. He stretched for the end zone, but couldn't quite get it. High formation, double tight ends for Kearney State. That's Thayer in motion. To give to Rogers, and he doesn't go anywhere.
Well, they gave him another chance to get into the end zone.
Beautiful.
He did so close, came so close before, but not to be had.
Beautiful play there by Neil Lust, who really caught a good gap and made a nice play on Rogers. Loss of 4 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 5. Second 5. Pitch to Rogers. They're going to try it again, and he's, after one good play, number 70, Yust, has really got his number. Neil Yust has made 2 outstanding defensive plays in a row.
Missouri Southern might have accepted the defeat here today, but I don't think they're going to accept one more touchdown.
No, I don't think so either.
This team has a lot of pride.
2 plays. Rogers, on his first play from scrimmage, gained 13 yards. On his next 2, he lost 8. So, he's still +5, I guess. Yes, with 2 outstanding plays in a row. 3rd and goal now from the 8-yard line. Schmitz is back in at the fullback spot. Naked bootleg. Harvey looking for somebody to throw to. He gets it off. Incomplete. Almost picked off. Intended for number 51. It was intended for number 51, Scott McIntosh.
Yeah, he put that ball up. Just about put it up for grabs.
Harvey just wanted to drop, and the flag goes down. I don't think he had a eligible receiver out there. Grauholtz comes on. Looks like the Lopers will try a field goal.
3 points would give the Lopers a 20-point lead with 1:56 remaining.
Trying to decipher what this flag's all about. An eligible man downfield is the call. It's declined. That brings up 4th down.
Is it just my imagination, Troy, or have the referees been a bit slow in making calls today?
So Grauholtz sets his tee down at the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard attempt. Right square dab in the middle of the field. Good snap. Good hold.
And good
kick. So Grauholtz tacks on 3 more points to make the score 38-18 with 1:54 to go in the ball game. Next week is fall break on the Kearney State College campus. But the Lopers don't have a vacation. They go down to take on the number 4 ranked team in NAIA Division I, the Emporia State team. And Emporia State really has played well this season. They beat this same Missouri Southern team last week, 45-22. And they are on their way to another good effort in the 1988 season. The CSIC race may very well come down again to a battle between the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and the Emporia State Hornets. Both teams undefeated and ranked in the top 5 nationally.
Enjoying some very good years of both of those schools in recent years.
We were down at Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, and I was very, very impressed with the Pittsburgh State rushing offense. Did a real nice job running that option play, as cameraman Brian Vodenall can probably attest. We made the long trip down there, as you see the kickoff going to the end zone. Made the long trip down there to see Pittsburgh dominate the line of scrimmage and come away with a 21-point victory. But the Lopers look like they're back on the winning track here. They lead 38-18 with 1:54 to go. We'll see what Missouri Southern decides to do. We're really starting to lose the audience right now as everybody starts to head for the exits.
Fading away.
I formation. Smith drops, rolling to his right, and throws incomplete. Intended for Hurd, it looks like. But incomplete, 2nd and 10. We're just playing out the string here, 1:48 to go. In 2 weeks, the Kearney State Lopers return home to take on the Missouri Western Griffins. We'd like to see a lot of Kearney turn out for that game, as it will be the final home game of the year. No, it won't, excuse me. 2 weeks later, they take on Minnesota Morris in the final game at Foster Field in the 1988 season. Smith almost falls down, dropping back. Pressure put on now, and a sack.
There's a big sack for the Kearney State defense.
Trying to see who that is. I believe it's David Grove. It is, 6'3", 206-pound sophomore from Humboldt. Lopers will improve to 3-4 on the year. with 4 games remaining. Lions drop to 2 and 5. Smith, straight drop again, throws out in the flat, complete to Wolford. Wolford rambles down the sideline, goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Stops the clock in a minute 3.
Close to a first down. I believe he's got it.
You know, listening to you talking about some upcoming games, Troy, I can't help but think how unusual some of the nicknames in the CSIC and other conferences are.
That's absolutely right, Dave.
The Griffins, the Ichabods, the Gorillas.
The Antelopes.
I suppose some people could even say the Antelopes, yes. What exactly is an Ichabod?
They did a nice job last week. They were here, and they have got another fine team. Smith again rolls, this time to his left. He's going to pull it down and run. Smith out across the 40-yard line, still on his feet, does a nice job before he's wrapped up by number 92, John Rose.
Yes, he does, but he's got to learn to put that ball away.
He does carry it a little bit loosely.
Yes, he does.
However, the play will come back as a penalty on Missouri Southern.
Once again. Definitely a game marred by penalties today.
Missouri Southern has had most of those.
Yes, they have.
A lot of yellow flags down on the field, penalizing the team in white and yellow. Like I said earlier, Dave, Missouri Southern probably led the nation in penalties last week with 184 yards worth. And we don't have any figures, but I'm sure they're over 100 yards today.
I'm sure they are too, Troy. I was going to say, they probably haven't broken any records for most penalties or most yards penalized today, but they've got, like you say, at least over 100.
The call there was a clip on the Lions.
And how many of those calls have been personal fouls today?
Right.
4 or 5 of them.
A lot of frustration penalties. First and 25, those are just really mental mistakes that young kids, freshmen and sophomores make. The triple stack formation at the top of the screen again. Smith rolls, fires complete. Hook and lateral play. Helsel's got the ball right now down the sideline.
In any other situation, Troy, that might have worked, but in a pass prevent, just too many people back there to stop it.
That's exactly right. Helsel ended up with the ball. I like that play, though.
That is a nice play.
Oklahoma beat Nebraska using that a couple years ago.
Yes, and I remember that with great pity.
No doubt. Play worked for 21 yards. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Time winding down here. 23 seconds left in the game.
Smith back again. Across the middle. Deflected.
Looked for a moment like number 27 for Kearney State. Monty Fife was going to step in there and pick that ball off, but he took a step the wrong direction and the ball deflected the other way. Would have been, I believe, the 7th interception of the day for the Kearney State defense.
Another illegal use of hands penalty on the Lions. The Lions don't want to get this game over with, as they'll march off another 10 yards against Missouri Southern. Missouri Southern, a talented ball club, though. I was really impressed with Brown, especially the first half. Alan Brown, the starting quarterback, he didn't miss a pass in his first 6.
No,
he led his team straight down the field against a pretty tough Kearney State defense.
Absolutely, Troy. And I think this is a team that believes they are good and is looking for some respect right now. They believe they're a lot better than a 2-4 or 2-5 now. A 2-5 record indicates.
And this kid, Rod Smith, the backup quarterback, really has got some moves, and he looks like he's got a lot of confidence in that arm, and he's got a lot of confidence in his scrambling ability.
With a little bit of experience and learning how to tuck that ball away at times, I think Rod Smith has a lot of potential to become a very good player.
And also the skill positions, Hurd, Browning, and this Helsel kid, he's just a freshman. I think Missouri Southern's got a lot to look forward to.
I think some CSI teams better look out for this team in the coming years.
He's good. Smith's going to run. Look at those moves. Smith better put the ball away, and he gets out across the 40-yard line before he's brought down.
But it won't stop the clock, and it's going to, no, it will stop the clock as they get a first down.
I guess it will.
4 seconds left remaining.
They call timeout. Missouri Southern calls timeout with 4 seconds to go.
Very reminiscent of the style that Steve Taylor runs.
That's right. Arms, all arms and legs. So as Missouri Southern calls timeout 4 seconds ago, we'll probably see the old Hail Mary again.
And I guess they'll be going for the 14-point conversion.
Make sure you stay tuned to KSTV. We have fine programming every day for the Kearney area. Cable channel 25. We'd also like to thank our sponsors again today when we get a chance.
Well, I think we have a chance right now. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank the Palm Garden Lounge, El Charro Norte Inn, Misco Sporting Goods, Nick's Euros, and Platte Valley State Bank and Trust for all their help in bringing you this KSC football game. Also, this game has been brought to you in part by the Fireside Inn, Moley's Motorworks, Frontier Liquor, Bogart Supermart, Copperfields, and LJ's Home and Appliance Center. KSTV, Cable USA, and the Kearney State Athletic Department would like to thank these businesses for their support.
Well, here we go. Smith drops back and throws it just about as far as he can. And it's picked off at the 27-yard line.
And fittingly, the game ends on an interception as...
Lions got that one. So I think every member of the starting Kearney State secondary got an interception today.
I believe Dan Gall had 3 of them.
And we end this homecoming game with the final score. Kearney State wins. They improve to 3-4 on the season. They win 38-18.
A happy homecoming for Kearney State.
So for cameraman Doug Greenwald, technical advisor Brian Voldenoff, and Dave Hardman, I'm Troy Berryman saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.